Live. Tell your friends you're listening to the Verhoeven Effect podcast. I'm Conlon.
And I'm Nathan.
We have another very special episode. We have the 1995 movie 12 Monkeys. Nathan, do you have a history of 12 Monkeys?
I went and saw this in theaters.
Oh, really? Okay. Huh.
Yeah. It's like it's.
Did you just know it was Terry Gilliam film, or what made you go see it?
It was like I really like Terry Gilliam's movies, so
Okay.
especially Time Bandits, which that was like when I was a kid. I think I watched that movie 500 times. I liked. I think this was really what for me. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas was like his last great movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it came right after that. Came 3 years after this. So yeah, there's always. It's kind of like The Fisher King. It seemed a little sad. I think maybe that's just in retrospect, but Time Bandits.
Hey, what if it was 12 Monkeys but without all the sci-fi concepts? So just sad mental illness? Like, yeah.
So yeah, that's. You always know a Terry Gilliam movie though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, it definitely felt Terry Gilliam, but I guess maybe the futuristic elements kind of made it a bit different. I mean, it's very Brazil as well, but, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Brazil was technically like a future, or at least, or more of an alternate, like, present, I guess. I'm not sure, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure where 12 Monkeys fit in. In that world, because it was like set in like 2035.
Yeah.
Is where he was from.
But it's an apocalypse, so it's not really. It's like it's a future name only. I mean, they do have future technology, being that they have time travel. So
Yeah,
if you believe that.
yeah. It didn't all just happen in his head. Yeah.
Well, there was a weird thing I was looking up at thing because I was like checking on a character at the end of the movie. Is like, is this that character? And I wrote the question into Google, and I got like, it like scrounged up some automated responses, and one of its responses like, if you believe that, then you've been tricked by Cole's paranoia. And I'm like, what? Which I think they derived that from a commentary with Terry Gilliam on this movie, where he wanted to cut out a sequence at the end where they're on the plane.
Yeah.
And he wanted to make it like more ambiguous rather than kind of having it like more exactly what happened. And I guess there's a lot of debate with that scene, which that seemed to be like a more of a producer insisted scene to make the movie less sad and more like, well, everything he sacrificed himself for like had a purpose, where if you take that scene out, it's like, nope, just fate's a fucker, I guess. So,
Yeah.
So there seems to be a lot of debate about that scene and what it means for the rest of the movie. But we'll get to that eventually. Because I feel I've seen this movie a couple times, and I feel like this is the first time I actually like seen the movie. Because I always remember it being kind of like a weird, like it's about fate and like schizophrenia and like where those things merge into like reality and unreality at the same time. And like I had actually like never like absorbed the plot at all.
Oh, okay.
Because I always just remember it as like, yeah, Brad Pitt releases the virus that kills the world, right? And it's like, no, that's just a cover. And actually the whole name of 12 Monkeys is just like a misnomer. It's like a wrong clue in the movie. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with the actual, like, what actually ends up in the end of the movie. Which I didn't remember that at all. It's like, because I don't even know, like, necessarily like, where the title 12 Monkeys come from, or was that just a random thing that the writers came up with, or do you have any backstory on that, Nathan?
I know this is a kind of. It says it's a remake of Le Jetée, which means the jetty, which is like just a dock extension, which is a 62 French science fiction film.
Yeah, which I watched the trailer for, and it's just basically, it was more of a student film almost, still pictures and audio rather than a film. But like the technical like plot of the movie is a guy kind of going back in time to try to like prevent World War III from happening.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. I watched a trailer for it.
Oh, I watched the whole thing. You can
Okay.
watch it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
I
saw it.
found AI Jete, which is somebody did an AI recreation of it, which is just wholly stupid. So
Okay.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched the bits of it, and it was really dumb. So, but
Yeah, the movie it's based on is kind of interesting. Like I said, it was talk about a way to effectively cut your budget.
yeah,
Like it's just still frames over dialogue, and then there is some live action stuff, but it's mainly like them talking about time travel, and you're gonna go and you're gonna try to stop this, and then he wants to just stay in this one part of time because he fell in love with this woman.
okay,
And they're like, yeah, you can't do that. In the end, they show up and shoot him because you can't do that. But at least that's what I got out of it. It's
right, okay,
not quite an A to B story, but it's because there's like instead of meeting, I think I don't know if they're aliens or people from the future or both,
yeah,
but it seems like there's something going on in the movie that's like not exactly jives with the 12 monkeys.
right,
But you
okay.
can tell where the idea comes from. It's a guy, he falls in love with a woman in the past, and I think I watched it 4 days ago. Of course, I've got this.
Well, hey,
memory.
you watched it. That's more than I did. I watched the
Yeah.
trailer for it. So
Yeah, I think he gets killed in front of himself too.
okay,
I'm not sure. I think it's implied that he does, as I remember it. But yeah, so it is like it borrows some things.
yeah, no, I can definitely see the large ideas it takes from this. So then,
But then it has the weird soundtrack where it's like someone playing like an organ grinder. Type
12 Monkeys came out in limited release in 1995, and it came out full release in January of 96. So I think they're trying to, maybe that was award season stuff. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that could be.
I remember this being very well regarded. So
Yeah, oh yeah.
And maybe that's why like I missed it the first couple times I watched this, where like I didn't really intake any of the plot. It was just like, well, that's weird and this is weird. I might also just saw it in bits and pieces, and this is a movie of bits and pieces, and so it's hard to just jump in to any part of this movie and understand anything. So and then there's a lot of like a lot of this movie is having the information wrong and trying to think of like, well, if we just do this, then that'll correct everything, right? And it's never like, but also like the character the whole time is like, I'm not coming back to fix anything. Like we can't change what happens, so we're trying to see if we can fight it in the future or the present. So
Yeah, it's essentially what do you call that? Closed loop time travel.
yeah,
It's like everything that's going to happen will happen and has happened. All we can do is observe,
yeah,
and then that will give the present selves, the actual people that do exist, a fighting chance.
yes,
But then we don't exactly follow those rules because things appear and we don't know if it's like mental illness or
yeah.
what. Or time is changing progressively as he moves closer to it. Like the big events stay the same, but little things get introduced, and because we're not sure, we only get glimpses of that.
Yeah, this is a subjective presentation.
Yeah,
So like we see things essentially through Cole's eyes, which he's we don't necessarily know if he's like mentally ill. We do know, but we don't exactly know what time travel does to a person. But that's also that requires you to accept that time travel is happening in this movie, because that's always like an interpretation you can pull out of this. Is like, well, that's just all in his head, but but I'm pretty sure it isn't, because once you see like a photo from World War One where he's there, it's like, well, that kind of solidifies everything, doesn't it? So, but unless the Catherine character was never there, but we see her by herself with her friends at points, so we know pretty sure she exists. So, but you can have any interpretation you want out of it. So, but it is kind of interesting that like both Brad Pitt and Bruce Willis would go on and have movies in 1999 were about them being like either imaginary characters or characters who weren't there. So,
Yeah.
and I was trying to think of like, is this the first movie with Bruce Willis where he's bald? But I guess that was Pulp Fiction, was the first movie where he just shaved his head. So this is like the second one of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like I was thinking of like what are my favorite Bruce Willis sci-fi movies. Um, I'd have to say like probably my favorite Bruce Willis sci-fi movie would be like The Fifth Element,
Yeah,
just because I always thought that was cool with Unbreakable coming in not long after.
yeah,
And then I remember he played the '80s Twilight Zone. I think he played in I remember it was a Harlan Ellison short story called Shatterday, and I think that really established him as like this guy's a serious actor. But I don't know if like what should come next, either 12 Monkeys or Looper. Interesting, they're both time travel movies,
yeah.
and they both supposedly use closed loop time travel, so that is kind of interesting. And then of course he was in like Sin City and did a lot of things. When you start looking back on Bruce Willis's career, then you just get sad. You're like, oh, this
Yeah.
got so many movies I like now. It's terrible what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I didn't necessarily watch this with like having it, like his current condition color what's happening in this movie, but it is like every once I think about that, it's like, oh man, this kind of. But this isn't. I mean, he has a different disorder.
Yeah,
It's
he's not
schizophrenic.
schizophrenia. He has I don't know what it's called. Whatever it is, it sounds nightmarish. So not
Yeah.
good because he's only 70. He's not like
Yeah, well, it's like something like prefrontal dementia or something like that. So he's like, it's like
yeah, some kind of aphasia type. We get a lot of big words
where it's like, yeah, I don't, because I don't know. It's like, it's I'm not sure if it's full on. He's not there or anything like that, but he can't communicate anymore essentially. So
yeah, that's essentially what's going on. And then all the joy along and mirth along the way about his career has just gone to hell, and then you find out this was going on. It's like, oh, that's horrifying.
yeah, he's basically just trying to like get as much money as he could before
Yeah.
he couldn't do nothing no more.
Which is like makes it really sad. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, because I think, yeah, I mean, because I think, I can't remember, because the Red Letter Media people, I think they did like 2 like videos on that, and then when they kind of like learned what was going on, they had a second video. It's like, oh man, because they're like, well, who do we blame for this? Should we blame Bruce Willis for this, or should we blame the guy who's like directing 17 like Russian finance like action movies with Bruce Willis in it? It's like, who do we blame for this? So,
Yeah, it's a weird situation.
yeah,
It's a strange decline of a guy who was in some of my favorite movies, and I even remember the Moonlighting days. I mean, I was a little kid when that was on TV, but
yeah.
that was cool.
I like knew of Moonlighting. I've never seen it, but I hear people speak highly of it. Was that like an early HBO show, or was that on network television?
It was the golden age of NBC
Okay.
when they were doing really high budget, like slickly produced TV shows.
Okay.
And they were because I think Moonlighting is remembered as it had like a season and a half of epic seasons.
Yes.
Then everyone wanted to depart from the show
Yes.
because like we've got careers now, and it really ended like terribly. Like it was
Because that was like similar to like Michael J. Fox, where he had like this hit TV show, and then like at nighttime he was filming like this, kind of Hollywood made small budget action movie. And then both those movies became huge, and they both became stars after that, even though technically they were already stars. But in that time there was a pretty harsh delineation between TV stars and movie stars, and like there's almost no crossover. It's like, we don't care if 100 million people know who you are. You can't open a movie if you're a TV star. It was a weird thing. So yeah, this is directed by Tara Gilliam. which I don't like. I assume it did well, but I actually have no idea.
Let's see. It cost $32 million to make, and it made 172 million.
Okay, must be okay.
Yeah.
Was this like? Because this is around the same time as Seven. Was this the same year as Seven? Just like the year before Seven came out?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good.
Because I think Seven's 95 as well. I think.
Look up Brad Pitt filmography.
Which that would have been like, because this is still like Brad Pitt. Like, I don't like the first time I know Brad Pitt. He's just like the guy. You know, he's just like the hot guy in like Thelma and Louise, and I think that's like 91. And then like he did what, like A River Runs Through It or something, where he's always like kind of like just the hot guy, and this was more like Brad Pitt's like character actor era, where he's like, I'm just more than being pretty. Like I can act too.
Yeah, this was. Let's see. Oh, he was in Less Than Zero. Huh, okay. Yeah. So Thelma and Louise, Johnny Suede, Cool World.
Oh yeah, Cool World. That was kind of him. Yeah, that'd be slumming it.
A River Runs Through It, which is kind of an interesting book. California with a K.
Yeah, that's definitely him
World.
being okay.
Yeah. And then
California, he's just like I'm a serial killer or something. That one's weird, but
yeah, that's weird.
that's him trying to be a character actor there too as well.
So Interview with the Vampire.
Oh right, okay.
Big one where they say he outacted Tom Cruise.
Legends of the Falls next. Okay.
Legend of the Fall. Then 7 came out, and then 12 Monkeys.
I think they have that listed wrong because
Yeah.
Oh wait, never mind. I forgot. Yes, this is 95, but it's like December 95, so 7 would have been before this. Because this comes out full release in 96 in January, so that makes sense. Okay.
And then what did he do after this? Sleepers, The Devil's Own, 7 Years in Tibet, Meet Joe Black, Being John Malkovich.
Well, he says uncredited, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
yeah, and Fight Club and Snatch.
Fight Club are the big ones.
The Fight Club was one of those movies where it had like a huge opening and then like a huge drop off. Like people did not like Fight Club when it came out in theaters. So.
No, it's a weird concept.
And then like, you know, a bunch of like lonely teenagers got a hold of it and it became huge again, and then it became a problem like 10 years later as everybody like completely misses the point of Fight Club, that like Fight Club isn't cool. It's
Yeah. It's not a good idea to do that.
But then also 9/11 happens and kind of like makes worldly affairs seem more important than just like, you know, you struggling with a bad job. So this is cinematographer on this is Roger Pratt, which he did a lot of big things like Batman. What is the other movie? He also did Brazil, so that totally makes sense because there's a lot of Brazil in this movie.
Oh, it's the same production team that did Brazil. That's why the future just looks like Brazil.
Yeah.
So, which is fine. Kind of expected that.
But he's like a UK cinematographer. I'm trying to find other stuff that I recognize of his. I mean, but Batman was huge, especially for that look. But remember, that's also probably a lot of people. But like Tim Burton's so unique, they probably just gave all the platitudes about Batman to Tim Burton.
Yeah, he did a couple Harry Potter movies.
Oh yeah. And then the writers David Webb Peoples and Janet Peoples, who are just a writing team.
Yep.
Like they did like Blade Runner and
Unforgiven.
which that's kind of all their screenplays. I mean, and they have some more stuff, but it's like pretty like, was it like Leviathan in there? Which I can't remember. Was Leviathan the high budget ripoff of Alien, or was that Deep Star 6 that was the high budget ripoff of Alien?
You know what? I don't know. I always thought it was Leviathan.
Okay, all right. Because they're basically the same movie, but one of them is definitely more high budget. So, although the Deep Star 6 cover is kind of like notorious. Like I was like, what the hell's that movie? So
Well, Leviathan was made for $21 million in 1989.
oh, okay, that probably that probably had to be the big budget one.
Yeah.
But it had oh crap, it had RoboCop in it. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Peter Weller.
Yeah, I think Leviathan had Peter Weller in it.
Okay.
Which usually he's kind of associated with B movies, but I can't even remember who's in Deep Star 6. Like, there's definitely people you know in Deep Star 6, but it wasn't a high budget movie. So,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, they had a lot of those come out.
But yeah, I imagine this team must have worked on other things, just like being ghostwriters for a bunch of people, because it's like that's 3 pretty huge screenplays to like not be continuing working on writing. So, I mean, I guess
David
Blade Runner's a
showed up in a lot of things though, as
okay.
somebody who's done passes on things, or at least hey, I recommend this script.
Yeah.
He seems to be one of those guys.
Which is like some people seem like they disappear from the industry, but maybe they disappeared inside the industry.
Yeah,
You know, like they just don't get credit for things, but they just always have a job, and they have some stable job where they're just like working for a department, and then they get health care, and that's all they care about, and they don't have to worry about like having to mine
well,
gold.
yeah, it's like I'll do a pass on this. You keep the name. You get the name credit, and I'll take 10% off the back end. I'm sure there's all kinds of deals like that. Because I've heard of David and Janet Peoples on a lot of different movies I've like done deep dives on, especially sci-fi. It's like, oh, they seem to be around.
Yeah. Of course, the cast is Bruce Willis, Madeline Stowe, who I feel like she's pretty good in this movie, but I feel like she just disappeared. Like you look at her roles and like I don't remember her in any of these things, but
yeah,
she seemed to have a good. There was a 70 episode run of a TV show called Revenge, so that's got to be a good run. So
yeah. She was also second seat in Last of the Mohicans.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she
Yeah,
did.
it's-
Yeah, she's had a few movies.
I've heard the name before. I didn't recognize it. And she almost looks a lot like. Oh crap! Who's the actress in Weeds? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Let me pull it up. Mary Louise Parker. She looks a lot like her.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I bothered to like watch the 12 Monkeys TV show, and I guess Madeline Stowe plays a different character for one episode in that, but I haven't seen her popped up yet. So
Interesting. Is that show? I've heard that show's pretty good.
I would not say that. I'd say I don't know. It's got 4 seasons, which after watching the first season, I don't know how it got that. Maybe it's just thriving on name recognition. But it's perfectly acceptable Canadian sci-fi television.
Okay.
It's hard for me to call it good.
Does it extend this story, or does it do its own thing?
It does not. It doesn't play with the psychological element at all. It just becomes an investigation of what do we need to do to solve the future. Because basically, like how they figure things out is that Cole's on a suicide run. If we solve the problem that stops the plague, then all of their bad world, all of their dark future will cease to exist. And so every time he kills somebody or stops something, he still exists. They know they fucked up and did the wrong thing. And like they do that like in every episode.
Oh,
Now they did have the interesting thing where he goes back and forth in time a lot. And him and Catherine are just ended up with like, they just end up being like this kind of like investigative duo.
okay.
Because they can send him back at any time, but they don't want, but they kind of like run into like, sort of like, Doctor Who rules where you just like, you go back into time different periods, but you never run into yourself.
Oh, okay.
So like so they keep sending him back in time to Catherine's time where they can like pick up the investigation. And then they keep saying like they don't have enough power to go further back in time, so that's kind of why they keep going back to this one era, which is like 2 years before the breakout, or the outbreak, or however. But again, it's just like, but like the future's just like, warehouses. They can go outside because they just say like everyone who's alive is immune, but the virus still exists somehow without people, or maybe it's just dormant in people and it hasn't mutated and killed the people that are immune yet. They haven't really introduced that concept, but also like this is a 2015 show, so it's 10 years ago, and like there's a lot of things they poorly tackle a lot of like deep issues. It's just like, all right, next episode, never mind. So, but they, I mean, the premiere is pretty good for what it does. And then like it kind of like all the neat stuff from the premiere it never does again. So so it kind of seems like they spent a lot of money because this is a sci-fi show. So they didn't have money for it. And that's why like the future isn't like the cool Terry Gilliam, a bunch of like future looking things and like and like just weird steampunk things all like shoved together. It's like they don't really have time to put together that many like that complex of a set design. I mean, they do kind of have like their time travel chair. It kind of looks like it's like a chair behind like almost like a jet rocket, but it like instead of spewing out like a flame, it's just light. But it's not that interesting, but it's so you can just see like oh this is the budget. It's like, well, they don't want to do underground stuff because that'll be boring or inexpensive, so like everyone can just travel around the future all they want, and then they just try to get into like yeah, so like survival in the future doesn't seem as desperate as it does in this movie here, because it's just about resources amongst the people who are immune to it now. But it's very like traditional, again, sci-fi Canadian television shows where they just like, oh, here's this bad person, we kill them off, we introduce a new bad, and then all this other stuff, and then it's very by the numbers, even though you've introduced a show with time travel concepts. But like the very first moment is like, in this movie where she has like, it's in this movie it's 95, so this is after the first mental hospital incident, and she's giving that presentation, and he grabs her in the parking lot. That's how the show starts. It starts at that moment, so that's their first meeting, is the parking lot, and he hijacks her, and then they go somewhere looking for a name, Leland Frost, but then that turns out his name's actually Leland Goins, so that's when they start to like bring things together there.
Oh, okay.
And then he does a thing where there's an earlier scene where he's in the future and he finds a watch on a dead body, and then it's Catherine's watch from the future. So like in the it's just that's her dead body in an office somewhere in the future. Grabs that watch, and then he holds up the watch, and he's like holds the watch to her. He's like, "This is your watch, right?" He's like, "You have your watch on there?" He's like, "Yeah." And then he scratches it with a piece of glass, and then the scratch just like a light emits, and like a scratch goes on her watch as he's scratching it on the other watch. So that's kind of like, it's like, oh, okay, these were the things affect each other. And then they find, and then he disappears, and then they show him disappear, where he just blinks out of existence. Where here it's always we just cut away, so we don't know what happened. So is this just so is it more in people's mind stuff? So they make it much more straightforward in the TV show that this is what's happening. There's no subjective thing about it. This is just objectively happening. So,
Okay.
and then they have the interesting thing where he tells her like, in 2 years, meet me at this hotel. And then she's at this hotel, and then she's like there for 2 weeks waiting for him to show up. And then eventually he shows up, and he's covered in, because the cops are chasing him, and he gets shot by one of the cops as he blinks out of existence.
Okay.
And he comes back to his hotel, and he's still bleeding from the same gunshot wound. And then like and then she patches him up because she's a doctor. She's like a biologist, so they just put that together, and rather than her just being a psychologist.
Okay.
And then, you know, and then there's this interesting moment where she's like complaining to him. He's like, hey, we gotta go find Leland. Like, we gotta go find Leland Goins or Leland Frost or whatever. And she's like, I understand that, but for you, like, this was like a moment ago for you. It's in 2 years for me, and my life is completely turned upside down because of you. And he like thinks about it. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry. um, and they do kind of have like the time travel grogginess, which, like, you know, why does everyone seem to be like, you know, why is someone being sent back from the being sent from the future like seem to be so out of place, and like and it's both just time travel grogginess and just because they come from a world that's completely different from a modern world where like things are stable. So there's always fun things like call 911. He's like, what's 911? Which they bring that up every once in a while where he's just like, what's that? And like he just has no clue. But he talks like a modern day person, so that kind of doesn't make sense. Also, the actor like who's playing him doesn't really like. There's not really anything interesting about him. And then they just do to, you know, in this movie he's not like an explorer and an investigator. He's just being sent back in time to assassinate people. So it's not as interesting because he just like too many missions are like go kill this guy, and he kills the guy, and then like shit, that didn't solve anything. And so it's just so I don't know if it gets better, but I was kind of unimpressed with what they did. So,
Okay.
But it got 4 seasons, so I don't know. It must have been good enough, so or cheap enough. I don't know. Maybe it was cheap enough, and they survived on name recognition. I don't know. Yeah, and Brad Pitt is in the movie, so that is the cast. But how do you remember the movie going experience? Was this
Well, I remember it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
To see it in the movies because it was a big downer, which was sort of like usually with Terry Gilliam movies, it's kind of an ambivalent ending.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was just kind of a downer.
Well, there's ambivalence to be had, but yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have your main character dying while the younger version of himself watches himself die. So it's not.
But yeah, I remember it being kind of I don't know. I enjoyed the movie, and you know, I enjoyed like the look of the movie, but I've had that watched it several times since then, and now I appreciate it more as a movie than I did then.
Yeah.
Whereas then it just seemed like something depressing.
Also, this movie has a really cool poster that like weirdly makes Bruce Willis look like a cyborg.
Yes.
Because they put the red monkey symbol in his eyeball.
Right. Yeah, it did have that, and that was good.
And the 12 monkey symbol is a cool looking symbol. So
yeah, it just traces around, and like I said, they had that weird like harpsichord like music soundtrack in this. Also, the actual movie soundtrack had like Tom Waits and other
yeah,
which you don't usually hear. I mean, you do hear a lot of Tom Waits, but
yeah, I mean that was a good moment where they're just like listening to the radio and like it's like, oh man, and like any music is just fantastic to them. It's like you don't hear this stuff, which you figured like from out of the amount of records they have in that time period that they don't have music is kind of, you know, like weird, but whatever. So. But also, we see him in the future in a jail, so I don't know what life in the future is actually supposed to be like. So, because that's where it's easy to have a blend of things between the future and the present, and like having the future not be real is because like, well, he's going from one prison to another, so like you can see the crossover is easily done rather than like, well, in the future I'm free and I can do what I want except go outside, where like, no, he's in prison in both places. So
yeah. Yeah, it seems a little less awful now than in the future.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and also, yeah, this is like like 90s Boston. It's not depicted like well here. Or not 90s Boston, 90s Baltimore.
Yeah, it's Baltimore and Philadelphia are the two cities.
Yeah. Which
And
in the future he's in Philadelphia, right?
yeah.
Okay. Because like when they come back around, he starts getting scared of the buildings because he recognizes it's like, oh, that's where he got sent out to go find the stuff. So, which I thought they were like always in Baltimore or something like that. But
I think, let's see. Yeah, because he's living in Philadelphia now. When he comes back, he's in. I have the timeline here.
okay,
He's in Baltimore,
yeah,
and then the first incorrect time he comes back.
yeah,
When it's 1990 and not 96, which they almost got killed filming in that because they just redressed parts of the Eastern State Penitentiary as the psych ward in that movie, and parts of the roof fell in and almost killed some people.
Huh, okay.
Because they had to I forget, they didn't have a lot of sound stages to film this on, so they just like used real places,
Right, okay.
just kind of redressed them.
Yeah, that one shower scene where like all the paint was like peeling from the walls. I'm like, well, they either did that or that was just some place they found. So,
No, the thing they blew the most money on was well, we'll get into it because it's the next scene coming up. So.
okay. All right, we'll get into the movie. We got Act 1. We get titles. 5 billion people die from a deadly virus in 1997. The survivors will abandon the surface of the planet. Once again, the animals will rule the world. Excerpts from interview with clinically diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic, April 12th, 1990, Baltimore County Hospital. So presumably that is from Bruce Willis's Cole character. So.
Yeah.
Was it James Cole? I call him Cole throughout my notes. But
James
like
Cole, yes.
Yeah, because like the wards or the orderlies are always calling him like, hey, Jim or Jimbo. So,
yeah.
And then yeah, no, I always called him Cole. I didn't know if I did like, I couldn't remember if he was called, if a Bruce Willis has another character named Cole or something like that. If I was mixing that up, but like I just call him Cole in my notes, and I just called the Dr. Kathleen. It's Dr. Catherine Rayleigh.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but no one ever uses her last name in here, although they use it all the time in the TV show. So, then we get a kind of wacky credit sequence. We get like the accordion music going on with like, dun, dun, dun. Not really like that, but it's very weird and discordant and like wacky as we see like the 12 monkey symbol kind of spiral on the scene, or on the screen. So, and we see some of the credits. Then we cut to a kid's eyes, and a gunshot is heard, and then we see like a woman runs at a man gunned down in an airport. Then we cut to James Cole, played by Bruce Willis. He wakes from this nightmare in a caged hammock area, because that's how like, which again, yeah, this is the future prison, which they've. Presumably people who are unruly are put in here, which we don't know how, like, it makes it kind of seem like anybody that's unruly just gets thrown in jail. There's not a lot of like, what do you call that? Due course or,
yeah, what do you call that? Rule of law. Yeah, what is that called?
Yeah, when you have a trial to see if someone's innocent or what I can't remember what that's called.
Due process.
Due process, yes. There's not a lot of due process. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of due process going on in this world, but
no,
we have none. But so they speak of volunteers and getting a pardon. There's like a guard yells volunteer duty. Yeah, a guard yells volunteer duty, and then like Cole's like picked up by like this big hook.
Yeah.
Which it seems like he has to. You see another person that's like dangling by like their foot or something like that. It's weird. It seems like you have to volunteer to put yourself on the hook, but they also make it seem like the hook can just grab you. But whatever. It's just just weird future stuff.
Yeah, basically using a 20-ton like gantry crane to get people out of these cages, which would make sense. That's probably how they're moving the cages around too.
Right. Okay.
It's hard to escape from that. And it's just like, well, all you can do is fall.
Cole gets in a bunch of like weird protective gear. It's also just like clear and like kind of flesh colored.
Yeah.
Like plastic. and it's like wrapped on. There's all sorts of like tubes and wires and all that stuff going
It
all
looks
over
like
the
a
place.
Doctor Who character.
um, and then he takes an elevator up to a mechanical room. The area is dilapidated and flooding, and then we further get outside. We see Cole. Well, we see it's just like snow, and then we see the snow start to get break through as Cole opens a sewer grate and pops out into a snowy abandoned city, which this will eventually be Philadelphia. Which I don't know if I recognize Philadelphia from these buildings, but then later on when he gets scared of the buildings later on and they say they're in Philadelphia, then that's when I realize, oh, they're in Philadelphia. So,
Yeah.
because I was under the impression they were in Baltimore the whole time. Because I didn't exactly know how the time travel here works. Because I didn't know if it was like location based or they can. But we find out you can be sent to any location any time. It's just because we see that happen later on. So.
No, this is where they almost blew the budget for the movie.
Oh, on this dilapidated. Okay.
The what they called it, probe. What was he doing? Probe volunteer. That's
Oh no, he's not. Yeah, he's what is crap? What is that?
I thought they called it probe duty or something.
Maybe I thought it was something more like yeah, something like that. It's like I was like searching or something, or what is that crap? Investigator or something like I can't. Yeah, something like that. There's a very euphemistic name for it that makes it sound positive.
Yeah.
When they're just basically like, hey, go grab stuff and don't die.
And if you breach the suit, you're done.
Yeah.
And it's a very elaborate suit and looks pretty fragile. So
yeah.
good luck with that. But yeah, this is where they almost broke the budget because it was not snowing.
Oh,
when
okay.
They filmed this, and they were using soap chips and bubbles,
right,
like from soap. And Terry Gilliam's like, that looks like shit. I need fake snow. And there's a certain kind you can buy, and they're like, yeah, we don't have a budget for that. It's like, yeah, I don't care. So I think it was like $3 million to have the fake snow added.
I think I've seen before you can have like a machine that'll basically chip ice and make it look like snow, but like depending on the temperature, that shit might melt when you do it. And I've also heard like potato flakes being used as fake snow, and a combination of potato and the soap flakes, but.
Yeah, I guess because of the dampness and kind of the frostiness of the scenes, because you could tell like the snow was sticking together. It was one of those kind of snows.
Yeah.
I guess that it really looked bad. It started to look like shaving cream was everywhere, and he was like,
right.
"No, I'm not doing this. This is But yeah, I guess it costs like a bunch of money to film that scene, and it was also the characters were some of the least happy during that filming.
So. Yeah, and we only see this for like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
so it's like it was $3 million really worth 2 minutes. So.
Well, I mean, the world he came from.
Yeah,
just a bunch of rooms with people with weird faces standing in front of Fresnel lenses, like they did in Brazil.
Yeah,
all the time. So it did establish like, oh, this is what his really real world is like, and it's terrible.
He pulls out he gets on top outside. He pulls out a suitcase which has a bunch of just weird gizmos inside, but it just has glass jars. He grabs a cockroach and puts it in a glass jar. A bear just screams at Cole and then runs off. So this is like very disorienting. It's like, is this happening or what's going on? Then Cole continues into a building. He grabs a spider. He finds a sign that with the 12 monkeys sign on it that says "We did it." A lion roars on top of a building. Then we cut to Cole's just being washed down from being outside, which is like, mimics another scene later on, but they're like really just dumping, whatever chemicals they can on him to make sure he didn't bring in an infection. So they do make it seem like the infection's still out there. I'm guessing in the animals, maybe it doesn't affect animals, but they must carry it. That's why it keeps it around, I'm guessing.
That could be. We're not really given much information.
No, I mean that's the thing about these movies. This is a movie about sometimes we get caught up on like the plotting and exact details and stuff when the movies are really about like people's emotions and how they deal with the events, not necessarily like the mechanism of like how it happens. But we do like when a mechanism is followed up with brutal detail and plausibility. So
Yeah, in this movie, the world is kind of ambivalent because if you watch this movie like 5 or 6 times, you don't know if like the governing body of the future is like, are they trying to stop this or make this happen?
yeah,
It's like, so you don't know like what these people's like motives are, and it could be a lot less benevolent than what you think.
yeah,
They're not just like a survival rump government in the future of a depopulated planet. It's like, oh, they had a hand in the architecture of how this went down, and but maybe they're trying to tweak it in some way so that it's they have even more power. Who knows?
yeah, yeah. He's brought in
Because these whole concepts that they blend together in this movie of crazy environmentalist animal rights slash anti-corporate people kind of coming to the solution of like, we could have our utopia if only we were a few billion people shy. That's a very common theme
yeah,
that's been going around since the 70s. Like, well, the world could be a better place but for the people.
yeah,
So yeah, when you hear this, and it's like, yeah, all these groups seem crazy and disparate, but it's like, or they're all working together.
yeah, yeah, because it's posed as like these are all we're working against the army of the 12 monkeys. They released the virus. We need to stop that.
Yeah.
But then we find out it's like, well, the army of the 12 monkeys is kind of just a bunch of college students.
Yeah.
So they're not really the ones that affect the end of the world. So we don't know if it's one person's vendetta that makes this happen or if it's a different group.
Yeah.
Which like the TV show gets more into that, and there's like always a group beyond a group beyond a group, which gets tiring real quickly as it never follows through on anything. It's just like, well, this actor is going off to another TV show, so we need to kill him off and then introduce a new secret government organization that's at fault. So
Yeah, there's a problem. Wheels within Wheels is interesting until you just realize, oh, you don't know how to finish this. You've just run out of a story.
Yeah.
So now we're just wheels within wheels. So,
no. So he's brought before a council for a debriefing, which is both like the governing body of the future and or this prison and or science and all of these things all at once.
Yeah.
But they're determining whether he's going to get like a pardon or not. Which they do. The only friend or person they present as a friend is Jose, who we see like 3 times in the movie.
Right.
And because that's the only person that Cole knows from the future, that we just presume that that's his friend because he vaguely looks out for him. So, but we don't know if that's like a friend in prison or that they know each other otherwise. Where in the TV show, they're just friends that survive. So, and then it gets weird because then Jose ends up finding out that he got a lady pregnant and he has a kid, and then that lady dies, and then he realizes he needs to raise this kid, but if they solve the past, this kid won't exist. So then he fights against Cole to prevent him from ending the future, the dark future, because that's where his kid lives. And it's like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
Emotionally interesting, objectively stupid.
Yeah,
So,
just ultimately convoluted. Oh, you want this kid to go to this world?
yeah.
And that's a moral? Okay, cool.
Oh, I forgot the other thing. I'll mention this real quick. As in the other interesting TV show thing they do is they talk about like how Cole is injected with these quantum chemicals, basically that keeps him in kind of a sense of stasis, and also gives him like a weird like healing ability that only is mentioned in the first episode because he gets shot with a gunshot and then doesn't immediately die.
Okay.
But they specifically say he is free from the effects of paradoxes.
Okay, interesting.
So in like a lot of these like you were saying closed loop stories, when matter from 2 different times touch, there's always something bad that happens.
Yeah.
like a la Time Cop, which what is it like? Almost like a fly thing happens where they merge and explode or something like that.
So, yeah, something weird. Yeah.
So in this universe, so he has the two watches. They're about to be killed by Leland Goins as he's like some ultra dark CIA corporate guy or something like that. Um, and so uh, Cole takes the two watches and put them next to each other, and they just start to light up, and time slows down as it's about to create some sort of time explosion. And then everybody else, time is slowed down for except for Cole. So he just like, as everyone's in slow motion, he just runs and grabs Catherine and runs her out of the room before it explodes. And they do it one time in the first season. It's like, well, that's kind of interesting. And then they never. Well, I guess they do it again. Um, they Cole is dying from the time travel stuff because basically his body is deteriorating from being. Because there they call the time travel splintering, which is like,
Okay.
well, that sounds destructive. It's like, yeah, it is. Um, and so they get blood from a young Cole to try to like help fix Cole from the effects of time splintering. And so he ejects himself with the blood of himself, and then he becomes a time bomb that explodes, but he doesn't blow up. He just blows up the people in the room. So
Okay. Interesting.
so again, there are bits that are interesting in the TV show. I'll see what happens in the later seasons because I am after watching the first season. It's like, man, how did this get 4 seasons? But it's also it's a 12 episode season. So
Oh, okay. So season is okay. These aren't the old Next Generation days 26 episode
No.
seasons where everyone's a complete basket case by the end of the season.
But yeah, I think but this is also like sci-fi's like downfall where like they just like the shows just kept getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper.
Yeah.
Because I think there was I think it was called Zombie Nation, and it was like a TV show produced by like the Asylum people who like do those like historically low budget like rip-off movies that you'd find in red boxes where it's like basically tricking like grandmas into thinking one movie's another movie.
Oh.
Because they did like Atlantic Rim and stuff like that.
That stuff. Okay.
They also did like the Sharknado movies,
Yeah.
which I guess that's technically original, but they did.
It was trading off goofiness, not.
Yeah. Well, they also did the Transmorphers, which that's obviously just like, oh, we're going to confuse somebody and making this think it's Transformers when it's not. So.
And then they're going to watch it and be like, that Transformers movie wasn't very good. I don't know why I'm all jacked up about it. It's a lot of bad special effects.
So yeah, we're before the council. Cole's being like, he's trying to. Well, yeah, he's chained up, and the people are like, yeah, he's beaten up like 5, orderlies or whatever, and so like we gotta keep him locked up. And they're like, he's okay. I mean, they still locked. Yeah, they still like he sits down in a chair, and then the chair like locks him in, and then just like raises up like 10 feet in the air, and they got this ball, ball of screens that like is near him. Which I don't know if it's like analyzing him or just giving him like video screens to see the council people as he's like way far away from them. So it's weird. I mean, that's just pure like Terry Gilliam set design weirdness, but I don't know. I don't know if it made a sense to you, Nathan, of what's going on here, or if it's just good weirdness. I mean, this is like I've never seen something like this before. But.
It's a lot of Terry Gilliam stuff. It's like those what I call scenes in depth.
Yeah.
With all kinds of things going on, foreground, background, everything, and it's just kind of a frantic what would you call that? Just a frantic scene framing.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot going on. There's information being discussed. This is basically their time of what do they call that? Exposition.
Yeah.
So he's going to make it visually interesting by having a ball with cameras on it, and I'm trying to think. I think there was a lawsuit over that interrogation scene.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it taken from some other movie or somebody took from it?
Um,
Or did somebody get hurt?
no, what happened was, let's see, it's called the Labus Woods lawsuit. And it's when he was told to sit down and attach to a vertical rail on the wall the spherical machine with different size screens showing close-ups of the faces of the scientists interrogating Cole, probing his weaknesses and interrogating him. The architect, Lebus Woods, filed a lawsuit against Universal in February, claiming his work neo-mechanical tower upper chamber was used without permission. He won the lawsuit.
Huh. Okay.
Which would have required Universal to remove the scenes, but he said for a high six-figure settlement, he allowed the scenes to be included. So they paid him almost $1 million to. Okay, now I want to see this artwork. That's interesting because that's in Wikipedia.
Huh.
So. Let's see. But yeah, that's one of those things. I'm about ready to see it. I don't know if it's. Oh no, that looks okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, they stole that from him. Exactly what it looks like. Non-mechanical tower or neo-mechanical tower upper chamber. Yep. That's exactly what that looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay. So good for him for seeing that, getting paid.
There you go.
Yep.
You got paid to be inspired.
Well, sometimes I hear that stuff and it's like, well, is that parallel thinking? And then you see
Yeah.
it. It's like that whole demon with a glass hand thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, he won a lawsuit for Terminator with that. And then you watch the show and you're like, oh yeah, they directly stole this and made this Terminator. Okay. Yeah. Clearly this happened. It's just the other 200 times the lawsuits were filed, maybe not so much, but
well, yeah, there's so many times like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Like, I'm gonna do my version of it, and then they just like copy it like exactly. And it's like, alter it a bit. I mean, or
Yeah.
pay the person directly. I mean,
yeah.
because like an Alien, they just hired, what's that guy?
H.R. Giger.
Yeah, just hire him, and then you just take all his artwork for your movie.
Yeah, you get everything. You get rights to everything because you're not going to steal like his work. Like there's only one guy in the world that's. How can you make an alien look like leather penis torture bondage? It's like, oh, I got your Swede for that. We got him.
So I guess this isn't just pure Terry Gilliam's imagination. This is. Well, I wonder who stole it. Was it Terry Gilliam or like a set designer or something?
They say it was a set people.
Oh, okay.
Because he just there's a whole thing you can read on. I'm not going to reread it here, but essentially he wanted like the future to have this like a yard sale look to it.
Right. Okay.
Like everything's kind of hacked together from other stuff. There's no like high technology. It's just a bunch of
nothing is purpose built. Everything is repurposed. So.
Yeah, and so it's like nothing is, just completely engineered to do what it is. And somebody probably saw a picture of that, and it's like that's cool. And they probably saw it in an art book, and like I don't even know who to credit for this. Hell, got to produce a movie. Let's go.
Yeah. So they're looking for a candidate for a new program. Then we cut to Baltimore, April 1990. A curator is talking about a painting and computers and stuff, which basically this is like, I guess they're thinking about this at this time, thinking about like how a museum will be rendered useless if you can just see the art online.
Yep.
Which I don't know how true that is, but maybe, I don't know.
Maybe not. It's nice to see it, and yeah. It's like, oh, I know what I'm going to go look at. But it's not going to stop me from going to look at it.
Yeah, might even inspire you to go look at it.
Yeah.
We have Catherine Rayleigh, who's played by Madeline Stowe. She gets a page and leaves the conference. which they have the pager be very annoying here, which I think you can just
Yes.
turn those off, but it seems like she can't turn it off at all. So, um,
Yeah, I
so
think those were the 2 battery pagers. Too.
okay,
Those go back a ways.
huh?
The ones that took 2 AA batteries,
Yeah.
and you had to replace them like every week.
She's
Those were doctor pagers. Only important people had those.
yeah. She's brought into a prison to see a patient that doesn't know where he is. The cop talks about him taking on 5 cops and he's not on drugs. So,
Yeah.
which we don't
Yeah.
know if.
They were trying to say like he's not even dusted on PCP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which in the TV show they explain that where it's like time travel like makes Cole like so like on edge and hyper that he basically is just in a constant state of an adrenaline rush, and that's why he can just like beat up people and get beaten up all the time.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's what they mean here, if that's what's going on, or if just the character of Cole in the movie is just always on edge. But
Yeah.
I mean, they do later on when we see like time travel happening, it does like seem to put you in a dissociative and state of heightened awareness and adrenaline filled as well. So it could just be that, but
Well, yeah, because they don't have any. He has no idea what world he's walking into,
yeah,
and he doesn't know like what's normal here, and he's a prisoner in his own time.
yeah.
So, um, yeah, he's probably just a tough person. Of course, I don't know where he's getting the protein to be laying in a cage, but they don't answer.
Just a cockroach slurry.
Yeah.
And he's happy about it. It's not like a big it's not a big bad reveal like in Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
Did that seem ridiculous to you in Snowpiercer when that
Yes.
reveal?
It would be ridiculous if they were. It would have been a reveal if they were grinding up people.
Yeah, yeah.
If it was Soylent Green,
Yeah.
it's like, oh well, that's disgusting, but I'm not starving to death.
Yeah.
It's and I don't have to feel it's a bug. I don't have to feel like any moral qualms about. But if Snowpiercer was like, we must destroy and liquidate and pulp the working classes to not starve to death, it's like, oh, this is an allegory of capitalism. Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas Snowpiercer is just like, yeah, the people running things are kind of gross and they'll make you do gross things, but ultimately you're not starving to death. And also the people in charge aren't really in charge, and the system is slowly breaking down, and everyone kind of knows this. So yeah. But I never saw that as like, it's like, oh, if I saw a skeleton in that tank or something, it's like, oh, that's dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never got that. It's like, well, yeah, that's what you do to survive. The world's screwed. You're going to be eating a lot of gross stuff. At least they're making it into a nice protein.
Yeah, they're slurring it up for you so you don't. Yeah, they're not making you eat live cockroaches. I guess they're at least gelatinizing it.
Yeah.
Cole's restrained in the middle of a cell. He's got like a weird clear raincoat on, which I don't know if they gave it to him or if that was what he's transported in. So
I think they use Terminator time travel rules here.
okay, going naked. All right.
Naked, yeah, because the living field of your body is part of it or something, which is just a cool way to prevent stuff from coming from the future.
Yeah.
Because it was like the ultimate like FU to logic. It's like, well, how are you getting the Terminator robot through? Oh, it's surrounded by living flesh. So it's like, oh, that's alive? Okay. Weird. But yeah, it's like, yeah, just put just come through as can't bring a laser through or something.
But then we see later on, like when he gets brought back to the future, he just like is in his future clothes.
Yeah.
So he's not brought back to the future naked. So I don't know. But
I'm
then
assuming they put clothes on him.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
He just showed up and was like, all right.
Yeah, because we only get so much of Bruce Willis's ass in this movie. I think it's only once. So.
No, there's 2 shower scenes. So.
Oh, there's 2 showers. Okay, yeah, there was a Bruce Willis ass limit.
But then there was like the thing where he got a spider. It was like, I need to take this back, but he didn't have a jar, so he just swallowed it. And then like, it's like, well, maybe they'll just like, pump my stomach or look at my crap and then see it like, oh, this spider has these enzymes and we can tell that or whatever. But then they never follow up on that, and of course you don't need them to. But
No.
there's the one scientist like, good thinking with the spider.
Yeah. It's kind of excited. Do more things like that. Those were huge because those spiders show up twice in the movie.
Yeah.
Those are golden orb weavers.
Huh. Okay.
Those usually are not in the northern part of the United States.
Okay.
We have them. Some of them. We have the orb weaver large ones here. We don't have the ones with the where their legs look camouflage. Those are the southern ones. But I know about the northern orb weavers because whenever we come back from summer break and they want us to bring the racks inside, and they were stacked 100 feet up in the air. It's like, yeah, when you're looking up, close your mouth. The orb weavers have been in there. You'll hear something hit the ground. It sounds like little rocks. It's those spiders. It's like, yep, keep your mouth closed. Here they come. It's like, oh, gross. They look big and scary. They're harmless. You can flip them right off you, but they are fully legged about that big. They say they put a web out every day and take it in at night, and then the next day they make. It's why they're called the orb weavers.
Huh. Okay.
Because they kind of sail in the wind and catch bugs, and they bring it in.
Huh.
But they're really huge looking scary spiders, but they're not poisonous at all. I think they can hurt you, but they're not aggressive.
Okay.
They're not like going to come at you. Like, I don't like it when they turn around and look at you and charge. It's like, oh, it's not. This isn't what got it.
What are you doing here? Stomp.
Yeah. Just spray it with chemicals and you hear it scream. Like, whoa.
Cole's like, he's just straight in the middle of here. He's just drooling, saying he needs to go. A lot of drooling in this movie. It's usually drug related. So
yes, that usually causes, especially like Haldol and stuff like that.
He says he's supposed to gather information. Says nothing he can do will change anything. And then she's like, "What year do you think it is? 1996?" And then he's like, "That's the future." And she's like, "No, that," or no, she says, "That's the future." He goes, "No, that's the past." Because I don't think did they ever say what date it is in the future? It's 20. It's 20 something. So
2030 something.
Okay.
But I'm getting that from reading. I don't know if I heard that in the movie.
Well, the only thing I heard from is Terry Gilliam constantly talking about Cole in 1996 is 8 years old.
Yeah.
And then Bruce Willis' character is 40. So in 96 plus 32. So, yeah. Crap. 2028? Something like that.
Yeah.
Then he also mentions that the air is clean. So, yeah. This is where, we don't get it here. It's more later on where he's like he really likes the past just because he can breathe the air. And even when he's like in a city with like steam grates all over the place and we associate it with being like smelly city stuff, he's like, oh, it's fantastic.
It's kind of like, what was the weird Terminator? The Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yeah.
Remember when they'd have the infiltrators come from the past, but they were humans that Skynet corrupted?
Oh.
And it's like they're always like, try not to freak out because they're in the world of like the 2000s or whatever, but they're coming from essentially hell.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you got to act normal. You got to act normal. And they're like, oh, crap. There's food everywhere. Why aren't there skeletons all over the place?
Where's the skeleton pyramid that Skynet built?
Yeah.
So that would be in then Act 1. Like Act 2, Cole is washed up and put in a psychiatric facility. This where you have like, he's just like put in a corner of a wall, washed up with like hose. And they just have like brooms with like brushes on it and they're hosing him down with liquids, and then there's like paint peeling off the ceiling and wall. So it's like, oh yeah, that's a very well upkept psychiatric facility in Baltimore. So, but yeah, Baltimore
probably doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it never did actually. This was filmed at Eastern State Prison.
Okay.
Which had been abandoned since the early 70s.
So. Yeah, I don't know much about Baltimore. Dad, he like grew up there, right?
Yeah.
He was born there or something, I think. But
he
yeah,
was born in Washington. But
okay.
Yeah, he lived in Baltimore for a while.
And then I mostly know Baltimore from The Wire and stuff like that, and Homicide: Life on the Street. So I only know it through its criminal elements. But
I know a guy whose brother lives there, and he says it's about as bad as you could imagine. Because he said the difference is like in Detroit, people pretend to get along, even though there's kind of an enmity there. In Baltimore, they don't even pretend to like each other. It's just open like anger all the time. It's like, okay,
but like any city like that here, it's just like, you got to find your places and know your times. So,
yeah,
but it's also like, though, even now they explain it in The Wire, because there's a port there, so there's a lot of business that still comes through there. But then they're like 30 minutes from Philadelphia and 30 minutes from Annapolis and like 30 minutes from Washington D.C. So it's just kind of this forgotten city amongst all these other cities, even
yeah.
though it's like a major metropolis. And then having that bridge get knocked out, that's gotta not help. So
Oh no, and considering they, did you ever hear like they threw an estimate out for rebuilding that, and that's with full government intervention and maximum efficiency. And then they're saying it's going to be $1 billion more than what they originally estimated.
okay.
It's like, what is that? Is that a scam? Is that like we don't know what we're talking about, or
Yeah.
what are we talking? What are we doing? But they also have to get that done like in a incredibly short amount of time for a project like that.
Yeah.
So, that was the Francis Scott Key Bridge or something.
Yeah.
Because they say they're talking about just bringing in the Corps of Engineers and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they have to get that done.
Which I imagine they don't want to do that, because anytime you do that, they're like free from being sued or whatever.
Yeah, probably.
Because then the Army Corps of Engineers like build the dams and stuff in New Orleans, and it's like, well, you can't sue them because when you hire them, you can't do that. So.
I don't think that the dams and levees were defective at the time they were built.
Okay.
I think as time went on, it's like we knew they're not up to the task.
Right. Okay.
We need to get a new system in here. And of course, like a lot of cities like that's just governed by criminals. It's like all that money gets siphoned away into someone's bank account. So then we never get the money to fix those. Then the whole city gets destroyed. And it's like, yeah, we better fix those now. Might as well throw that in the deal, and everything will be fine.
Then we cut to they bring him inside the psychiatric facility, and then we have Jeffrey, played by Brad Pitt, or Jeffrey Goins, being played by Brad Pitt. He's like another patient that's being asked to show Cole around, which seems like improper, but I guess I don't.
I think he's probably just the most sociable one they have.
Yeah. There's also a way to introduce the character, but like logic-wise, it doesn't make sense. Why do you have this person who you know to be unreliable show him around? But it's just a way to introduce the character.
Yeah.
Which he basically introduces like, hey, we got games and drugs. They're basically the same thing. It's going to control your mind. Don't do it, man. Which is funny.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because basically we just kind of like learn that he's like an environmentalist and conspiracist, and like, everything is trying to control your mind, and he's free from it or whatever. I don't know. What's your take on the Jeffrey character?
He was someone who is.
Do you think he weirdly for me, he looms large in this movie, and I don't know if it's just Brad Pitt, but he's like really. He's only in it for like 15 minutes, maybe, of total screen time, but he's attributed with a lot of things in this movie, is like being the fault of a bunch of things, but I don't know.
Yeah, he seems like a guy who's definitely like in the shadow of his father.
Yeah.
And, trying to do something else. He also seems like a spoiled kid that was maybe overindulged.
Yeah.
And probably does have serious like mental illnesses.
Yes.
And because, Brad Pitt, like to study this role, he went into a loony bin. And he's like, how do people act in loony bins? And he found out. That's because he's very good at doing that frantic, like weird, like pointing and making ideas. Like, yeah, those guys act like that. And
Oh, and
then
he's doing weird stuff with his eyes too, which is like maybe his most like.
Well,
Like,
one of his eyes it was a contact where the white was painted to be off center
yeah,
because he said he wanted to look kind of ugly and weird in this movie because he was just like voted the sexiest man in the universe or whatever.
yeah,
Like the year this came out, and he's like, "No, I want to look screwed up. I want to look like a handsome guy with a flaw," which is sad because it's like, oh, he could have been so much. So yeah, he wore a contact where the white was off center.
yeah. It's more noticeable in the rest of the movie. I didn't notice it in this part of the movie, but it's somehow more noticeable later on. Or I
I
just
think it's because of the color schema of this scene.
yeah,
Because everything, if you notice in the roof in the rooms, was painted like super white.
yeah, yeah.
And it's because they had to redo parts of the prison, but also I think they were trying to make it very visually disconcerting. It's like those walls are whiter than white.
Um, and then there's a good line here, I guess, which being that it's delivered by a mentally ill person, it's like, well, maybe it's not true. He says, if you don't buy a lot of stuff, then you're mentally ill.
Yeah.
Which is very true in a lot of ways. That Reaganomics.
Yep.
Kick them out of the mental institutions and get them to work and pay their own way.
That'll show you. That'll show them.
Yep, they won't wreak havoc on the civilian population at all, will they? They won't.
All you got to do is get these guys a shave and a haircut, and they'll fit right into society.
They won't take away from cops and firefighters and emergency response teams and whatsoever.
Yeah. They'll be productive. They were just you were just babying them. They're just waiting to be productive.
And again, I don't know how it's like. I don't know if this movie like accurately predicts mental illness here, but it seems like I don't know. It's not too out of order from what I've seen. So
no, this reminds me of every crazy person I've ever met when they're off their meds.
Yeah. Oh, we see different crazy people here too. So, and it's like the great one is the guy who's like in the tuxedo with the bunny slippers.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you feel like, does he exist in this world, or is this like a figment of the imagination? It's like, no, he's a real guy. So,
yeah, you kind of wonder. It's like, how does this guy exist? How does he have a tuxedo and a bow tie, and everyone else is in? But maybe that's what keeps him calm.
Yeah.
Because he even says he is a manifestation from another place and time.
Yes.
Which actually later on in the movie, there's another scene where like a street preacher says something to Cole. It's like, how many of these people are from Cole's timeline? How long have they been doing this?
Yeah.
But you don't know if Cole's hearing that or that guy's actually saying.
Yes.
That's what makes it weird.
Oh yeah. And here I wrote, another patient in tuxedo talks about being mentally divergent, and also lives on another planet in like a separate consciousness or something like that. And then we pan down and see he's got bunny slippers on, and it's like paired with the tuxedo suit. It's like, okay, he's crazy. Never mind.
Yeah.
But in this world, maybe that's true. I don't know. You have time travel and mentally divergent split existences on different planets. Why not? So,
yeah.
We cut to Cole goes before another council. This time it's at the psychiatric facility. Cole's trying to explain the army of the 12 monkeys, but they're not active yet because he's like in the wrong time. And he keeps saying I can't save you. This already happened, which of course it's like, this is a mentally ill patient. Like they say it all the time. Like, we need you to back this up with facts. It's like, well, the facts don't exist yet. Like, what can I tell you? I mean, I also see like the problem in the future of like, all the information they have is like deteriorated and falling apart. So they have imperfect information to work off of. So,
yeah.
He says he needs to make a phone call and leave a voicemail that's monitored by the president. We also see he says something like, "That's why they chose me. I remember things." Yeah, because if you can't take something with you, like not even notes, you're gonna need somebody with a good memory. So, which is kind of weird because there's a way where it's like Cole's doesn't really seem to be a smart person, but he's like functional in a very specific way. So,
yeah.
Because he's not like a planner, but he can like do things, remember stuff. So that's
Yeah, it seems like that's his job.
yeah. He calls a number, but it's just like an overworked housewife with a bunch of kids, and she answers the phone. And then Cole is frustrated because he's like, it's the wrong time to contact the scientists because like whatever they're monitoring doesn't exist yet. So, yeah, of course and Catherine allows him to make the phone calls. So it's like, well, he just says he needs to make one phone call. What's that going to hurt? And then like, she was hoping that would prove to him like, see, it's not real. But he's like, it's like, he just gets more frustrated. Then we cut to Cole. It's night. Cole's like analyzing stuff. Like he can see outside a window, and then I think this is where Jeffrey's talking about like how they're like welded shut and stuff like that. And then he grabs a spider. Jeffrey's going off on germs and talks about escaping the facility. Then Jeffrey also insinuates he has a powerful father. And this also we see like where Cole doesn't know through the spider, so he just shoves it in his mouth and eats it. So. Or swallows it? No, he doesn't really chew. He just swallows it.
Yeah.
Then Jeffrey gets grabbed by the guards as he's acting out of control. Then we cut to the next day. Jeffrey gets released back with everybody else. And Cole is writing a note with like crayon. Is he also drooling here? I can't remember. He's like taking the drugs that they've given him, so he's like kind of out of it in this scene. And then we kind of cut to, I don't know how much later this is, but then Cole's definitely on drugs at this point. And he's watching TV, and Jeffrey reveals he's taking a key off a guard.
Yep.
And is this the moment where like, or may have been before, but...
Yeah, Cole does talk about the 12 monkeys.
Yes.
And this guy like runs with that, and he comes back and he says, yeah, you were talking about monkeys. Monkey. And then he like shows him the key and does a hand thing with it. Yeah.
Well, he also like at some point talks about a virus ending the world, and then Jeffrey interprets it like, yeah, that's probably the best way to give the world back to the animal. So which then later on Cole feels like guilty about that, because then he thinks he gave the idea to Jeffrey on how to end the world.
Yeah.
But then that isn't the case, but you don't know. Because when he has the flashback, there's one instance where Jeffrey has like a wig on with like red hair, and then the other instance it's Dr. Peters, or in the current timeline it's Dr. Peters. So is that the timeline being changed, or is that just how he remembered things?
That's one of those like ambivalent things, like you don't know,
because it is a dream, so it's subject to
yeah
it's a dream. It's not subject to any logical reasoning. So just because his dream changed doesn't mean like, oh, timeline is now changed or whatever. Just his dream's different. But Jeffrey creates a distraction and a commotion for Cole to like make an escape. Cole's very sluggish from the drug he's taken. Like he's just drooling again. Cole gets through a gate and just wanders down a hallway. There's a guard who basically ignores him, but then the guard is like swapped out with one of the scientists for like just a moment, and he tells him to use elevator 1 because elevator 2 is out of order, and then it swaps back to the regular guard guy who is also just like doesn't care that a patient is walking around, but. And then we cut to a different scene where Catherine's getting teased about like, because we see the note that Cole is working on. It's like a goodbye letter he wrote to Catherine, which makes where it makes it seem like he's, because he can read and write, but I'm not sure how well it is, or if it's the drug screen in the way, because he writes beautiful as bootiful and stuff like that. The scientist like mocks how he wrote it, and it sounds like a child who's like just learning how to like read and write. So then again, it's like, is something wrong with Cole, or is just like they're not or is the education of the future not that great, which probably wouldn't be. So we don't know, but but then that's kind of started like, this isn't really a love story, but like that's like how serious it is to Cole. So because that's ultimately why he keeps going back, and like because he just wants to be in the present where the air tastes good and there's a pretty lady he likes.
Yeah.
And he gets to be around her. So, um, here, but yeah, then like some guards come up or orderlies, and she's told about Cole escaping, and so we cut to the orderlies surround Cole. He tries to fight them, and then he's given drugs and put in solitary confinement. And then we cut to another scene where Catherine's like under fire from her fellow doctors for like being too kind to Cole. Like
Yeah.
she's like giving in too much to him, and it's like just making him more violent. Which she like capitulates. It's like, but then I guess she says she's seen him before. She has a feeling about him. So,
Right.
which in the TV show they just constantly have that be a thing, like
Yeah.
about like deja vu, and then of course, 4 episodes later they send him back to like, like, oh, I saw that guy when I was like 9 years old. Like, of course he makes it. So, but it's just whatever. That's how that's why the TV show kind of just doesn't work, because you just have, because every time somebody meets somebody, they could always be somebody from the future, or they could have seen them in the past, and it's just it's not, I don't know.
But it doesn't really pay off.
No, it's just done there for like, for the moment. So there's not a lot
Yeah.
of long term. There's not a lot of long term thinking. They're trying to get past that first season. I don't know.
Finding their way.
But then Orly comes in and says, like, we have a situation, and they go to the solitary confinement room, and Cole isn't there. And the orderly says, like, he was in restraints and the door's locked and he just disappeared. In which they look at, like, okay, if that's all true, the only exit out of here is like a exhaust vent that has
Yeah.
like a fan in it that's on. He's like, okay, well, the only way out of here is for that guy to pull down that vent, crawl through it, and like reattach the fan somehow. So it's of course like, there's no way he got out of here.
Yeah.
And then we cut to, it's another young Cole flashback where we see Jeffrey in dyed hair with a suitcase. Correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. This is the kid flashback in the hospital. So like, because I think there's like just multiple moments of this, but like in the end, it's Dr. Peters. Cole wakes up in the future. He's in a different confinement cell. He hears voices in the wall talking to him, which it keeps calling him Bob.
Yeah.
Which like this will appear like throughout the entire movie, and you don't know what the hell it is. So this is just kind of thrown in here to like, hey, is this real or not? So this is like, again, it's up to you to decide, but it is a very, because he's like warning him like they're watching and like who's them and and all this stuff, and it's like the scientists are they the bad people? Like how are they the bad people? Like what are we doing that's wrong? So, which again, that's what you're hinting at, that maybe like the scientists are engineering this to make sure it happens rather than to keep it from happening. So
Right. Yeah. They're just trying to tailor it more.
But I don't know why they'd send him back with that story to check out Jeffrey if what's actually going on is elsewhere. So I don't know.
Well, it depends on how much they know about it, too.
Yeah.
Like, they might have an imperfect knowledge. Because remember, they play that. Have they played the message for him yet?
I think the first one from Catherine.
Yeah.
I think it's coming up.
Okay. I didn't know if I jumped ahead or not, but yeah. But that seems to that displays to that's their knowledge of the past. It's kind of this imperfect.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, this voices in the wall thing is kind of a debrief with this guy who keeps calling him Bob. He's got a very scratchy voice, and we really don't know what's going on. We find him like later in the streets, but we don't know if it's just a coincidence or if it's the same guy. I have no idea. So, it's up to you. I don't know. What do you think, Nathan? Is that the guy, or who is this? Who is this calls people Bob guy?
I don't exactly know if it's a manifestation of his paranoia or if it's an actual person.
Okay.
Because the doctor sees him,
Yeah.
but we don't know if like if he's saying stuff. Well, no, because she says like, why did he say that to you? What was he talking about? Talking about his teeth. So yeah, I don't know.
But
It's
then
hard to.
later on, when she grabs him and like, hey, you know who he is, he's like gets scared by her because she's saying the crazy things and not him, and then he's
Yeah.
like has no idea what she's talking about.
So
Oh,
yeah, we don't know when we're seeing him or what timeline he's from,
yeah,
or it's just a manifestation of Cole's paranoia.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I don't know, like, when that, yeah, when you have like the guard getting swapped out with the scientists, like, is that supposed to be like Cole's subjective, like thinking of like that's what happened, or is it supposed to imply the scientists are something he has done has succeeded, and the scientists are coming back to try to change things, or if it's just it's just him being schizophrenic or seeing things or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of where because that's the only perspective you see is from him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what makes the whole thing kind of subjective.
Cole's being debriefed by the scientists, and they have a deteriorated message. They don't know if Cole sent it, which this is the message that Catherine sent out, but it's very
Okay.
distorted. Although if you have the subtitles on, it clearly states it's Catherine's voice. Which she basically says like the 12 Monkeys started it, and like I think gives it an address or something like that, and then says like Merry Christmas to sign off. So,
Yeah.
which is very weird. um, he tells them that he was sent to 1990 and pointed out that Jeffrey's in a group of photos that they have up there. So they prep Cole to be sent back in time again. They're like, yeah, we're going to put you in the right place this time. And then they put him in the time machine, which is just kind of like a, I don't know, wire orifice in the wall. And they just kind of put him in there. And then he just kind of, it was like maybe a flash of light, maybe. I can't even remember. And then he just, and then he just ends up in World War II in a trench somewhere, like I think in France. Are they speaking French here? I think I can't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because no, this is like a famous like part of the war. I can't remember. Oh man. Oh well. Cole recognizes Jose, so like he's apparently been put in the program too, and being sent back in time. And I don't know if he has a uniform on, so presumably he was sent back here on purpose. Or do you
Okay.
think, or was he sent back here accidentally, and he just started to blend it in until he could get like brought back?
I think he was trying to blend in.
Okay. Um. Yeah, because I really don't know. Again, this isn't necessarily important to the movie, but I don't know the mechanism that brings them back or why.
Yeah, it's never explained.
And I don't know if it needs to be. I guess, it just creates more mystery.
I mean, I guess if you can get there, you can come back.
Yeah, but it's like, do they bring him back, or does is there a time limit and he just like comes back? But I don't know. I guess that's why he takes his teeth out at the end, so they
Yeah.
can't trace him. So presumably
They
they
can
are
bring him
gone.
back when they want to because they always seem to do it at an opportune time.
Yes. So
So
yeah, because like he got put in that solitary confinement, and so that allowed them to do that. But of course, you don't like that would also presume that they can see in the future, and then if you can do that, why do you send people back?
yeah, that's a good question.
Because it's like, oh, that's the opportunity to pull them back. It's like, why would you know that? Well, why would you know there's no cameras there? Because nobody sees the time traveling happening. So again, that's up to you. It's like, well, is time travel happening, or is this in somebody's head? So you don't know. So,
Yeah.
but we do have Cole disappearing out of a mental facility, and we don't know how that happened. So,
Yeah.
um, uh, but yeah, oh yeah, it was this it's like Terminator rules because he just shows up in the trench naked.
Yeah.
And then like people are pointing guns at him. He like runs after Jose and then gets like shot in the back of the leg with like a World War One rifle, which that would have been practically blown his leg open. I don't know, man. I don't know. They have him like recover the full bullet from his leg, and bullets back then they could have been like haphazardly put together. So maybe it would have been a bad round moving slowly, getting stuck in his leg.
Well, I have. Let's see. He was shot with a Berthier 1907 French rifle, and let's see. What information do we have about that? I don't know. It's a simplified bolt-action rifle made in 1907. Doesn't really have a lot more information than that on it.
But usually those big rifles from the era fired pretty big bullets, but
Yeah.
presumably it's smokeless gunpowder by then. So.
Yeah, it's 7.5 by 5.4 millimeter. Capacity 5 rounds in that rifle.
So then we cut away from there and we cut to it's Baltimore, November 1996. Catherine is giving a presentation about diseases and prognostications through the years, where like people predict disease will happen and they happen. She has pictures of Jose, who like Jose was like in a there's like this man who was apparently American, like talked about diseases in the future and it would happen in 1997 was when the outbreak's supposed to happen. I can't remember.
Yeah, 1996, 97, yeah, somewhere.
And then he just disappeared from the hospital, and they talk about the Cassandra complex, where like I guess she was condemned to know the future, but no one will believe you. So, which that's Cole's thing. Well, he's not necessarily trying to warn people, because he's like, I can't save you, so. But let me do my thing, in case we can save the future. Because I forget where he mentions it. He's saying like, we can't stop it from happening, but we can find the origin, or we can find the original virus before it mutates, and then that will give them a leg up to create a cure in the future, so they can.
Yeah, they want to find a purified original version of it.
Yeah. Which doesn't guarantee that they can make a cure, but if they can, cure the people in the future, they can presumably start, restart civilization again, presumably. So.
Yeah.
But they're not here to stop it from happening. Catherine is signing books when a guy talks to her about the planet being doomed, and she just kind of dismisses him and thinks he's weird and like talks to the other people looking for autographs, and that guy just kind of stares her down and walks away, which it's David Morse.
Yeah.
Who I think the last time we might have saw him was in the Long Kiss Goodnight.
I believe so, yep.
He was the husband they thought to be good and then was immediately a traitor.
Yeah.
And then that's when like Brian Cox gets killed and she gets put on the like water wheel interrogation thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think we've seen him a bunch of other places. He shows up in a lot of different things. So, but I completely forgot he existed in this movie. So I just completely overlapped his role with Brad Pitt's role and just thought they were the same person. Or everything that David Morse's character does, I just assumed Jeffrey did it, and so I completely forgot this guy. He's only in it for like 2 scenes, but it's important to the movie. So,
oh yeah,
well, actually more like 3 scenes. So, Catherine gets grabbed at her car and directed where to go. It's revealed to be Cole. He's like kind of like he's got his face covered and everything, and he's kind of like disguising his voice. Cole gets enthralled by the radio because at first he thinks the radio's talking to him, and then she's like, "It's an advertisement," which I didn't was like, "Is she British or something? Who calls it an advertisement?"
Yeah, that seemed a little strange to me too.
It's an advertisement, Mr. Cole. An advertisement.
Maybe she learned that in acting school.
Yeah. Or maybe that's what they call them in Baltimore.
That could be.
Because Baltimore does have its own little panache and lingo.
Yeah. What do they call that? That's a name for that accent.
And also Catherine is just rightly freaking out because somebody has like a knife to her and
Yeah.
it's a guy who like disappeared from her mental facility like 5 years ago. So, um, we cut to the cops are talking. I don't know. Is she like Catherine's assistant or something?
I'm not sure who that is.
Because this is like Catherine's like apartment slash like practice or something. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
But she was expecting Catherine to show up, but she didn't show, and so then there's a message on Catherine's answering machine warning her that Cole was back. It's like, hey, you know that guy that like did the Houdini act in 92? Well, he's back now. We cut to Cole wakes up from his dream. He remembers Catherine at the airport with different hair color. Catherine's tied to the bed. Cole grabs some of her money and goes and grabs some food at the vending machine. Which, you know, we don't see him eat the food, but like I imagine he is like, well, I imagine this is like he's ecstatic by this food.
Oh yeah, candy bar. It's like
Yeah.
amazing.
'Cause, you know, we didn't see the food in the future, but I imagine it's bad. So
No, well, this guy ate a spider, no problem.
yeah.
So yeah, he's probably used to horrible stuff.
There's a broadcast on the TV about Catherine's disappearance. I think this is also like the first mention of like a boy in the well, which I think Cole will mention later on about like it was just a prank. He's hiding in a barn, but you didn't know it doesn't. But he isn't necessarily talking about this, but it will connect later on with Catherine because he doesn't. It's it's a childhood memory that he's bringing up, but he doesn't know like. Actually, he doesn't know. He's again time travel messes with you, so who knows what's going on? So,
Yeah,
or mental illness mess with you. Who knows what's going on?
yeah.
They're back on the roll. Cole says he's here to find the army of the 12 monkeys when the virus is in its pure form before it mutates, and then they'll send a scientist when. Yeah, and so he's here just basically doing like detective work, and so when he finds out like where the origin is, then they'll send a scientist back to study it and make a cure for the present. And then we get some Tom Waits.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, again, Cole is enthralled by music of the 19th century.
Or 20th century, yeah. Because he says he loves 20th century music.
Oh, is it 20th century? Yeah, I keep mixing that stuff up. It's like -1, right?
Yeah, it's always one. Yeah.
Okay. Because yeah, like, do we now currently live in the 21st century? Is that how that
Yes.
works? Okay, all right. Man, what was that show on? Do you remember that show that was on like Discovery Channel? That was like, was it 21st Century or something like that, where they'd have like future tech and things like that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Beyond Tomorrow.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
I forget what we're hearing. I say we cut to Cole says she'll believe him, and when people start dying this month.
Yeah.
Cole hops out of the car when he sees the 12 monkey paintings on the wall. And then Catherine has a moment where she could just leave, but then doesn't. I mean, he did have her tied to a bed all night. She has all the reason in the world to just run from this guy. But
Oh yeah.
then Cole drags her around to try and prove that the 12 monkeys to her. But she's like, I don't know, it's just red paint, even though it's clearly like monkeys that say 12 on it. So whatever. Yeah. Then the Bob guy shows up, like he's just like laying down on some like cardboard, and then he starts talking to him like about tracking devices and stuff, like they're gonna find you or whatever, and it says it's in their teeth, and he reveals like, which you don't know where it is in his teeth, like most of his teeth or front teeth are missing, and then at some point Cole just pulls his molars out, which I don't know, we don't know if the tracking device is ever a thing, but again, that's all just like we don't know what's true necessarily, so.
Yeah.
And then they get into like an abandoned theater of like homeless people and mentally ill people, and then they just like almost immediately get assaulted for, I don't know, looking clean and being different or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very Escape from New York scene.
Yeah. Then Cole kills the guy attacking Catherine, and then he gets a gun from the guy that was attacking him, which he just like rams that guy's head into like a concrete pillar, which he's not dead, but he's like out of it and bleeding from the head. And he takes that guy's gun, which I don't know if this guy's just a criminal or a mentally ill person with a gun. I don't know what's going on here, but and then they go into a corner shop and like Cole holds them up because he's like, I think this is the address they were looking for, that the original Catherine message points to this address.
Yeah.
Here they get info about the 12 monkeys, which they talk about Jeffrey, and then they talk about Jeffrey's dad being a Nobel Prize winning virologist. It's like, well, that all syncs up. So like a virus, kills 7 billion or 6 billion people, and then it's tied to this guy. Then that makes sense. They tie them all up and ask him more questions. Jeffrey wants, but apparently Jeffrey wants scientists to stop testing on animals. Because I think when they were watching TV at the psychiatric facility, they just had like a bunch of like footage of like injecting rabbits and like putting different like drugs into them and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. They had they were, for some reason in a psych facility they were showing rabbits and monkeys having science experiments done on them, where their heads were shaved and stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, that's what you want to show a bunch of crazy people.
So yeah, they drive off. They steal the hippie or the college kids. Oh yeah, both the hippie college kids' car here. Which
it's a 1980 Jaguar XJ6. Surprised they kept it running long enough to film.
Here she learns that Cole has a gunshot in his leg, and she pulls over to get some supplies. Then we cut to they're in a forest, and she bandages him up. He grabs her in a weird way. It's like, what are you gonna do to her? And they just cut away.
Yeah.
Because she's like, what are you doing? Which he like hasn't necessarily harmed her this whole time, but like this is just a weird scene, but it seems to be like intentional, like, I don't know if it's bad filmmaking or writing, but like you just have somebody act weird, and then that seems like indifferent to what's happened so far, and then just like fill your head with bad thoughts and not show what happens. But
well, it pays off in the next scene, though.
Yeah. But we see Cole's hiding under a car at an event that has Dr. Goins. This is played by Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
He just suddenly shows up here. Which we last saw him. Oh, crap. What was that heist movie that we saw him in? The Canadian heist movie.
Oh, yeah. What was that? Damn it. Let me look it up. Yeah, because it was the one where he dressed up like a woman.
Yeah.
What was that movie called?
I think that was like 79 or something that came out.
Something like that. Some of these people have an internet movie thing so big. It's...
Oh, yeah, his is huge, but...
Yeah.
I think if we go to the 70s, we can find it. The Silent Partner.
Okay, yeah, there it is. Still haven't found it, but that's okay. That was it.
Then we cut to like a guard grabs Jeff. Well, also we see that when Cole is hiding under this car, he gets out from underneath it and he drops the gun he had.
Yeah.
And then we cut to a guard grabs Jeffrey, telling him like he has a visitor, which like he gets mad at. It's like, my dad's in an apartment, giving an apartment address, and I have to deal with this. And this is where it's like more stands out that Jeffrey has like kind of like a different eye color or something like that, which you're talking about, this like a kind of weird offset iris thing or white of the eye thing. He's also like, he's got like glasses on a different haircut that makes him look ridiculous. Where he's like, it's like he's trying to look important, but he looks like a scraggly important. So,
right. Yeah.
Jeffrey says he doesn't know him until he mentions he's looking for monkeys, and then like suddenly he's like, oh yeah, that guy. Cole is saying he can't stop Jeffrey releasing the virus. He just wants to know like where the virus is so they can study it. Then Cole gets violent and runs off. Well, also like I forget that. Yeah, like yeah, this also yeah, this is where like Jeffrey kind of taunts Cole about like he gave him the idea. Like, remember I said my dad was a virologist, and like I actually don't think he actually said that, but I can't remember. Um, and so he's acting like the whole like virus to kill humanity was his idea to give the world back to the animals. And then here he kind of like he holds him over the edge of a balcony while like three guards just stand by and do nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, then they try to chase after him, and this is where Cole like runs off and he escapes the guards. Um, and then like as the guards like running through like the kitchen and all this other different areas, there's like a newscast talking about a mutilated body that could be Catherine's, and so that's like throwing off. It's like, what the hell did Cole do? Did he kill Catherine? Why? Um, but like they don't find him, and so you're wondering if he did a Houdiniac again or whatever. They pulled him back to the future, but then we just cut to Cole's running through a forest. He opens the trunk and Catherine's back there. She just kicks him in the face and starts beating up Cole, which he doesn't really fight back. He just kind of lets her beat him up. So,
Yeah.
but here Cole is distraught that maybe he gave Jeffrey the idea to release the virus. Um, the cops are looking for him. We see like lights closing in the distance. And then like Cole's talking about like how he wants to stay in the present or the past because the air smells good and like the music is good. And he starts like, oh, you can just stay right here. We got all the water we need and all the food. And then he's just like hopping around in like in the like the creek stream or whatever, a pond or whatever is going on here.
Yeah.
And then Catherine looks away for a second, and when she looks back, Cole's just gone. So like, because like you have him like jumping around in the puddle, and then like he's gone, but you still see like the disturbance he was making.
It's kind of a cool scene. Like, oh, he was just there.
Yeah, because we never see like the disappearance of time travel. We just like cut away and cut back. So that's what makes it more like subjective. It's like, did that actually happen? So, then we cut to Catherine's being interviewed by a detective, which is played by Christopher Maloney, which at this time he would have been on Oz, which yeah, as a prisoner. So I guess that'd be kind of funny. But then he later goes on to play like one of the most famous like detectives in TV on like SVU. So
Oh, okay.
he does that for about like 25 years. So I don't know, like SVU as a because I think he left the show for a while and then he came back because there was a time where there was three like Law and Order shows. There was Law and Order, there's Law and Order SVU, and there's Law and Order Criminal Intent. And then Criminal Intent I think has like 4 seasons and then gets canceled. And then weirdly regular Law and Order gets canceled, but SVU lives on. And then Law and Order comes back, and there's also like a Law and Order LA, and I think that only has like 1 season, but like I believe Law and Order SVU is still on. So,
Huh.
and I think there was like a season of a standalone Law and Order Christopher Maloney show.
Okay.
I think he's back doing SVU, but like SVU's been like on since I think 2000 to now, so I think it still continues. So it's literally like 25 years of SVU. So
I had no idea. Okay.
yeah,
Huh.
but yeah, I just thought that was interesting. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because I only know him from like Oz, Law and Order SVU, and like his cook character in the wet hot American summer. If you've ever seen those,
I think I've seen the second one.
okay.
Yeah.
Because there's like the movie, and then they did like 2 seasons of a Netflix show, which is hilarious because the Netflix television shows are like a prequel to the television show, but you just have like it's just they just play it off as older characters as being them younger selves. They just like play it off story wise, even though it's like clearly everyone's older now. So. Because it was still like 10 years later on from the movie being made. So,
Yeah.
which the movie's just kind of like a weird cult movie where it seemed to be like kind of go under the radar and then like found an audience later on.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, she's getting interviewed by the detective. She's defending Cole, but like says he needs help because he's living in a hyper constructed delusion. So,
Okay.
which everyone's like, you know, he like violently kidnapped you. Like, why are you trying to protect him? It's like, well, because I'm a psychiatrist and I need to help people. So, um, she's home. She wakes up to like her friends watching the news, which I don't know who these people are. So, but I guess they're friends or business partners or something. I don't know. Um, but here's where they're watching the news, and we get the well boy Ricky Newman story has been like, which we've been seeing bits of throughout the movie, as revealed to be a hoax. And then he was just hiding in a barn, which is that's how Cole mentioned earlier. And then she kind of gets like, her eyes go like surprised by that. It's like, oh no, like something he said has come true. So, um, then we cut to a very weird scene where Cole wakes up in front of a picture of a sunset while the scientists sing to him. Which it's like, I don't know, like a blues song or something like that. I think it was one of the songs he was listening to earlier on the radio.
Yes, it's is it the one the world? Maybe I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
yeah.
They're telling him that he's gonna get his pardon. And we see that like this, it's just a photo that's like hung in the air on like, that's like movable. It's very weird. It's like, why did they do that? But I don't know. I guess to create an illusion, I guess. So, but now like Cole is like fully flipped to thinking that like everything in the future is just a delusion he's having, and that his real life is like his life in the future isn't real, and so when he's in the present, that's the reality, and so which is an interesting like character turn, I guess. So,
Yeah.
Because again, like when you have like kind of the subjective point of view from Cole's character, and then it's like, okay, that'll explain the weirdness. But then, like at the same time, you have Catherine uncovering the Cole knowing the future, and then it's like, well, now that's real. So that's a very interesting twist here that's going on. So, um, Catherine talks to a colleague about Cole being right from the future. Which then the colleague's just like, yeah, this guy's a psychopath. He'll tell you anything, and then you want to believe him. And then we cut to Cole, like, here's the raspy Bob voice, and the voice tells him he wants to be topside with Catherine, which again, that's true. And again, that you don't know if this is like just a voice in his head, and this is just schizophrenia that's going on here, or if it's a part of everything else. You have no idea. So, and then we come back to Catherine gets a call from the detective who says the bullet she removed from Cole's leg is an antique from prior to 1920s. And then she rushes over like scared or what? Yeah, scared or I don't know, excited, whatever. She runs over to her history book and she finds a picture of Cole in World War One. So
yeah,
it's like
that she somehow didn't know about before.
yes,
Yeah.
which is like, well, that's pretty definitive. And we cut back to Cole tells the scientists like basically what they wanted to hear. So he's fighting for himself to keep in the program, saying he has the experience and he doesn't think the human mind is meant to exist in two different dimensions or time, which again, that can be like, you know, you can interpret that as like schizophrenia or whatever mental illness it could be. If it's not science fiction, it's a mental illness. So.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Dr. Floyd Goines is fielding a call from Catherine saying, but he's saying he doesn't know anything about the Army of the 12 Monkeys. And then we have the Dr. Peters, is David Moore's character, the creepy doomsdayer from before, is revealed to be working with Dr. Goines. And we're like, oh, this is the guy who releases the virus. Which we don't know at the point, like, does that mean, like, he's with Jeffrey's group? But in the end, he's not. They're just only associated by, like, their father. They don't have any direct association. Like, he's not taking, Dr. Peters isn't taking orders from Jeffrey Goines. He has his own agenda that just happens to align with Jeffrey's, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I got out of it.
Okay. Then Dr. Goines mentions that they may need to beef up security measures, which I don't know if that really does anything.
Yeah.
Because then he ends up getting captured later on. So.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very effective.
And we cut to Catherine's trying to talk to the corner store people, but they're like hiding away from her. She's like pounding on the window. and Jeffrey's with them. Then here's where Catherine has an argument with the bod guy because he's like, "Hey, you're saying she's like grabbing him by the collar. He's like, you said they're tracking him. Like, where is he? Like, how can I find them?" He's like, "Hey, lady, you're crazy." And yeah, there's also like the guy like yeah. This also you mentioned like there's like a guy with a bell and an "in his nigh" sign like on a corner somewhere, and like because that you'd say like doesn't that like Cole mistakes that guy for being a time traveler. It's like, well, he knows. um yeah, which that's a common thing. I don't know, that's brought up in a lot of media. I don't know if there's a lot of in his night people or they just always exist or what, so.
Oh, you'll see that crap in big cities.
Yeah.
There's always people outside, but the thing about that scene was that guy looked like a medieval monk almost.
Yeah.
And he said to Cole, "You're one of us."
Okay.
And it's like, that's where I think like, oh, how many people from the future are here? Out, hey, I don't want to go back and just rip their teeth out.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know if any of that's true. But
I don't. Well, there is a mention of, because yeah, we don't know if Cole. I mean, they say it's a new program, but we don't know if. Yeah, they might say that to everybody.
Yeah.
We don't know if Cole's the first person to be sent back in time, but they do like when he comes back and it's not successful. They always talk about like, were you taking drugs and having sex with women? He's like, no. It's like, they gave me drugs because I was in a mental facility. It's like, why are you doing that? It's like, I don't know. People kept trying to grab me. So yeah, there's stuff like that, which I can't. No. I might be conflating something with the TV show. Something with Jose and Cole.
Yeah.
I can't remember if Cole or if Jose tells Cole to like go have fun in the future or something like that. That might have been from the TV show. I can't remember. Anyways,
I don't remember that. I only remember Cole as being like his cellmate.
Yeah. Well, he shows up at the end, but like
that's he does show up at like in World War I and at the end.
But. Which he has like a splotch on his eye, which I can't remember if that's always there or if that was like something from the mustard gas. Because didn't he get exposed to like a chemical in World War One, but he was like immune to it, but like it still like did something to his skin.
That might be, yeah. Because I know they mentioned like he couldn't speak French.
Yeah.
But they had no idea why he was there.
Yeah. So she spray paints a message on the side of the building, which we'll see like later on because they cut away from it, but like they show it in the future as having already been written. And then we have like Jeffrey on the inside, like talking about like because they're like, man, this lady's crazy. It's like, yeah, I don't want to go out and talk to my former therapist. And they're like, you're what? Like, who the hell is this lady? It's which I don't know if like this alleviates like Jeffrey, if like, oh yeah, I guess if you're crazy and your therapist is crazy, like you're probably not getting the best health care out there. So.
Things didn't work out. Getting advice from a crazy person.
Cole shows up like wanting to turn himself in, which like the cops are watching her for her safety, and he's just like raising his hands up. It's like, oh, I'm gonna turn myself in, and then Catherine who now believes him is like trying to protect him. Is like, keep your hands out. What the hell are you doing? Then Cole sees the message that Catherine left and recognizes it from the newspaper clipping in the future. Oh yeah, and then inside the corner store, Jeffrey gets to go off on a tirade about how they copied his mind and like they know about like what he's going to do before he does, which like none of this is true, but being how the future tech works, like who knows, maybe it is true. So
it's one way of understanding it, I guess.
Yeah. Catherine gets a hotel for an hour, which then like the guy running the hotel is like call somebody because he like shorts her she shorts him some money because she doesn't have a lot of cash on her.
Yeah, he basically calls one of the local pimps and says, hey, there's some new girl.
Yeah, you got a new weird girl that's like doing role play. And so, yeah, they get in the room. She's asking Cole questions and getting like frustrated about that he no longer believes he's from the future. So it's a little bit of a
Now
role
she
reversal.
believes it, and he does, or now she believes it, and he doesn't. Yeah.
Which is this is basically about 7 seasons of the X Files right here.
Yeah. It's all compressed.
um, Cole says he wants to stay in this time and with Catherine and get better. Um, and this is where just randomly well, I guess it's not random; it's set up. A pimp comes in and punches Catherine, and then Cole beats him up. And steals his knife and then cuts his back teeth out, which you think he's gonna like cut him up, and because the guy's like scared, but like we don't see him cut his teeth out, but presumably that's what he's doing over the pimp.
Yeah.
So, which freaks him out more than getting stabbed would, I guess. um, and then, yeah, this is also it's funny where Catherine says like, "Take his money." It's like he's a pimp; he's gonna have a lot of cash on him. So, um, uh, so yeah, but yeah, so you know, Cole cuts out his teeth thinking there's a tracker in there, so that would allow him to stay in this time because then they couldn't pull him back presumably. Then we cut to Cole and Catherine get off a bus. They're both bleeding, so this is like both like serious and kind of funny. So it's just weird. Catherine leaves a voicemail at the dry cleaning company, which that's a number he remembered he's supposed to call. And then she's happy for a moment, thinking that they're just crazy. It's like, it's just dry cleaning. It's not people from the future. And then Cole like recites everything she just said into the phone call, which he couldn't have heard. And then because the future did get her message, and then now she's like something like, "Oh crap!" So, and then Cole like starts recognizing the buildings and is having a flashback from his time up top in the future. So,
Okay.
which is I guess would technically be a flash forward.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess it is the past even to him. It's just the past. It's when he's in the future and it's a thing he already did. It's still a flashback, but so that would be in the Act 2. Act 3. Cole and Catherine are changing their clothes and getting wigs. Jeffrey and his minions like have captured Dr. Goins, and like they have him like in a body bag and have his mouth taped up, which I think they wrote stuff on it or something like that.
Yeah. His blindfold says biohazard.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cole and Catherine are in a movie theater working on their disguises. Cole recognizes the movie and says like the movie never changes but you do, which is kind of like a good summation of like this movie, I guess, or whatever. It's about perspectives and perspectives, I guess. I think is that I've never seen it, but is this North by Northwest that they're watching? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of like Hitchcock movies. I think it's The Birds, North by Northwest, and one other Hitchcock movie.
Yeah, they seem to have like Rear Window or something.
Yeah. I think they only we see North by Northwest, and then he wakes up in The Birds, which is also I've never seen that either. So
that's a wild movie.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Vertigo, The Birds, or North by Northwest.
Oh, okay.
There's actually a lot of Hitchcock movies I haven't seen. So
they're worth watching.
Oh yeah. Because I remember we watched that. What was it? The 28? No, was it 28 Steps? I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
The one that was like during World War II when he shot it, and it's like, well, this probably isn't going to hold up, and it's like a fantastic movie. So but I didn't realize that. But yeah, there's some stuff in North by Northwest where it's like talking about like this is where I died and memory and things like that. So it had like had some sort of connection with this movie and about memory and things like that. But so that didn't necessarily resonate with me because I didn't see the movie, but like the dialogue did like stick out. So
well, it was also making the point that like the observer always changes, the movie stays the same.
Yeah,
that's kind of like the gear he's stuck in.
Yeah, and that's like how he kind of considers the time travel. It's like he can't change anything. He can only observe what's going to happen again and again. So, Cole wakes up alone and runs out of the theater looking for Catherine, and then he recognizes Catherine in her new get-up because she has like the wig on with like the red hair. Yeah, and he recognizes her from his dream and memory. And then we cut to animals are running amok in Philadelphia. They're Cole and Catherine are in a cab, and they're late getting to the airport. Which the cab driver is a real character, and so it's like I don't know. She seems almost like New York character, but you know, big city character, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're talking about like traffic is jammed because all the animals are being released from the zoo, which I don't remember this at all. But
Yeah. Yeah.
there's like you see the monkeys on the like construction equipment. There's like you see some giraffe like running across a bridge, and there's like flamingos like flying around a building. Which I don't know. These must all have been special effects. I don't know how they got all this stuff, but like it looked good.
Assuming special effects, yeah.
Yeah, but it looked good enough. I was like, did they actually do this, or is it just like quick enough that I couldn't like recognize what effect they were using? So I'm not sure. Because like I don't know. I guess CGI would exist, but I'm pretty sure this is just probably all composites or animation or something like that. I don't know.
Guessing animations.
Um.
Because you pay attention, those flamingos are pretty dark.
Right. Okay.
So they don't stand out like bright. Because I don't know if you've ever seen a real flamingo. They're pretty bright pink.
Yeah.
So these were like dirty flamingos.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like in keeping with how this movie looks. So.
Yeah. Dusty.
Yeah.
Flamingo. Yeah.
They get to the airport and the cops are looking for them. But are they looking for them both now, or are they just looking for Cole?
I think they're looking for them both.
Okay.
But Cole mainly.
Right. Cole is trying to recount like he was here this day when he was a kid. Catherine gets tickets and they share a kiss. Cole calls a number saying that because he's not being tracked anymore. He calls a number saying the 12 monkeys didn't release the virus. Oh, I forgot. This is when they released the animals. That's when they realized that the 12 monkeys didn't do it. Because it says 12 monkeys, we did it. And what that in context to is they released the animals from the zoo. So that's where they suggest that like they had nothing to do with the virus whatsoever. Which again makes the whole title of the movie kind of like a misdirection, which is interesting, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you figure the title of the movie would be important to the plot, and then it's like, well, it is, but it's a misdirect. So and you don't know why it's called 12 Monkeys. I don't know. Is there 12 people in the 12 Monkeys, or is that anything?
It doesn't even show that.
Yeah.
Known as the Army of the 12 Monkeys. It's like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, or the, there's like, there's a number there, but it's like, it means there's more than one.
I guess I just never dived into 12 Monkeys meant anything more than just a interesting name for a movie. So
I think it was an interesting name for a movie.
Okay.
I know this script was passed on by a lot of directors because they said, I can't make this. Because they say it's nonsense. I don't,
Right.
This is just a downer. It's a very confusing story. How would you film this?
I don't know. Like, if you look at Terry Gilliam's movies, like, this is like his wheelhouse where it's like people are taken from the real world and then injected into like a fanciful situation that you don't know whether it's real by the end of the movie or not. And usually by the end of the movie, the revelation is, yep, that happened. So, because that's what happens in Time Bandits, isn't it? Like, can't you just think of like, oh, when they take him away and everything, this is all an allegory for like, was the parents getting divorced or something like that or something?
Just basically consumerism.
But like, he needs to like get away from his life, to enjoy himself, and then like he kind of just like wakes up, and then but then he finds out it's all real, and then that's like, oh no.
He comes back home and his parents are like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And then then they find like a piece of evil. He's like, don't touch it, it's evil. And they just ignore him and get vaporized by a piece of evil. And then it kind of zooms out over some, suburbs in the UK in the 80s.
And that kind of happens here. And, and the otherworldly nature is like, that's true of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas too. You have the subjective filmmaking there, like you seen like, what it looks like through their eyes. I don't know if Baron von Munchausen, or was that the Adventures of Baron von Munchausen. I never saw that movie, so I don't know if that also has like something similar to
The
that.
whole thing is kind of like a dream, because it's like about a traveling troupe, but the stories they tell in this war-torn time, and you know, the stories get bigger and bigger and crazier, but it's also grounded in a reality.
Okay.
But I remember it lost like millions and millions of dollars. So
And then of course he always tried to make like that Don Quixote movie, which is also about subjective people kind of living in an unreality and stuff like that. So
yeah, wasn't he trying to make that movie for like 20
yeah,
years?
yeah, he did one with Johnny Depp, like, and they spent like $80 million on it, and they just had like set disasters, and they just couldn't get it made. And then eventually they made it like they made a movie about making the movie with like Adam Driver.
Oh, okay.
I think it was called The Man Who Killed Don Quixote or something like that. So they eventually sort of got the movie made, but I don't think I didn't hear great things about it. But maybe it's good. But it's kind of like the last movie that Terry Gilliam made. So
Yeah.
but now he's got to probably be like his 80s now. So I don't know.
I don't know how old. He's 85. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was the interesting facts about Terry Gilliam? Oh, he renounced his citizenship in 2006. Okay.
Huh.
Interesting. Now he's just a UK citizen.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing. He's like I think he's from Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like he does like those weird like cutout animations for the Monty Python sketches and stuff like that. So he's not really like a part of the crew of Monty Python. He's just kind of doing these segments. And then he just kind of gets sucked into the whole thing and then ends up directing like the meaning of, no, no, he doesn't direct the meaning of life. But he's like a part of it.
Yeah.
And then then eventually just starts directing movies and then like using all the Monty Python people as well. So I think it was like it was Terry something that directed all those Monty Python movies. I think. Or maybe
he did the most famous one, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, him and Terry Jones.
Yeah. They co-directed it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was the last Monty Python like movie he did.
Okay.
Director, because then it was Jabberwocky and Time Bandits and Brazil and the Fisher King, and yeah, because for a long time it's like, oh yeah, that British director Terry Gilliam, and then you find out, because later when you can like look into people's lives, like, oh, he's from Minneapolis. Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Minnesota has a weird like deep, like if you look into anything, Minnesota is somehow involved, and it's like weird. It's like,
Yeah,
because like who comes to Minnesota? And it's not the people you expect. It's like, I mean, I guess maybe you expect. I mean, like Jesse Ventura, if you listen to his accent, it's like, of course he's from Minnesota.
yeah.
I mean, he has kind of his own twist on it, but like you can like, oh yeah, he's got that Minnesota accent. But like Prince is from there, which I guess you wouldn't say he has a Minnesotan accent, but he basically spent his entire life there. Specifically Minneapolis, because I mean, they even shot Purple Rain. They just shot it there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's like a lot of wrestlers from Minneapolis. I mean, I guess that makes sense with Jesse Ventura, but a lot of people you don't expect to be from Minneapolis. So. Let's see here. So yeah, Cole calls the number saying that one. Was it like a land? No, it's like a dry cleaning company that they're monitoring the number or the voicemail somehow. So then we see Dr. Peters with a passport listing all the cities where the virus will be released, because they mentioned that earlier on, which I don't know if that means like that's where he's going or that's where he's been. Like,
I don't exactly know. I was never clear on. I thought that's where he was going.
Yeah.
But it seems to be like,
I thought a passport like stamps where you've been, not where you're going.
Yeah, I don't.
Or maybe they're looking at the air. Maybe they're looking at the pass of the.
Yeah, I think it's the boarding pass.
Right. Okay.
Has. Okay.
Then we see Jose show up, and he's just like he seems like he's not out of it. He seems like normal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like from the future and weird, but he's not like he doesn't seem like a mental patient the way Cole always seems when he's like coming from the future. He's got like glasses on. He's dressed up, and he's got like the weird like like bubble things around his eye from World War I, or maybe it was always there. I can't remember. Um, but Jose says they tracked him with the phone call, and he gives Cole a pistol and calls him a hero. It's like, hey man, you're gonna get your pardon. um, and then we cut to we see a young James is there in the airport, so we know that this is all we know this is going to happen. So we're going to have to run through this whole bit here. Catherine puts together Dr. Peters and Dr. Goins because she sees him in like a photo in like USA Today or something like that, or just some newspaper. And then she puts it all together. She's like, that's that weird doomsdayer guy that came to my thing. Catherine grabs Cole to go after Dr. Peters. We have especially weird here. The baggage check people have Dr. Peters open the contents with the samples and like fully take the thing out and open it up. It's like, hey, can't even smell it, can you? Meaning he just released the virus here in America.
Yeah. By the way, call back to this must be where the what was it called? Westworld. The pistol that Cole gets handed is one of those Lamont.
Oh, okay.
That like has the shotgun shell
Okay.
underneath it, which is just a big crazy looking gun.
Yeah.
That because remember the Man in Black exclusively used that in Westworld. And everyone's like, "What kind of gun is that?" It's like not a very good one.
And interesting, but not a good one. Then Cole runs to the metal detector and pulls his gun, trying to shoot Dr. Peters. And then Cole never takes a shot. I mean, there's a bunch of people running in front of him. And then the cops just shoot Cole through the chest. And then Catherine holds him as he dies. And then we cut to, like, we see a young Cole watches all this happen. So then we have his whole dream memory / sequence all come full circle. And then Catherine starts looking around and sees a young Cole, which we don't know if that really has any meaning or not. So, because I don't know if that gives any credence to the whole idea. Like Catherine says, she knows him. Like from when? So, so yeah, this is all sad because it seems like, well, this is all pointless. And then we have the scene that kind of is like supposed to like make things seem like it was worthwhile. We have Dr. Peters sits down in the plane. And then the person he's sitting next to is one of the doctors from the future and says her name is Jones. And, like, she's in insurance. And it's like, well, that's a doctor in the future. So, like, is she now going to... And the virus is right there. So is presumably she going to take the virus and be able to use the information to make a cure in the future? Or I've heard some people interpret it as, like, she's a part of it being released or something like that. So, I don't know. But this is the contested scene that a producer wanted in the movie to make it seem more like, oh, they're going to solve the problem, and then now 6 billion people won't die, but you know, they just released the virus in an airport, and presumably that's all going to be dispersed now, so it really doesn't matter. It's got released anyways. But like, are they going to save the future? Like, we have no idea, but. Then we cut away and we see a young Cole watches the plane take off. And so basically we have like eyes. The eyes of Cole are the front and end of this movie. So that's the end of 12 Monkeys. So.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, that after almost, it's not quite after credits, but you know, that scene with them on the plane, I did not know that was an add-in.
Yeah.
Until later. But yeah, that's, but see, that's what I always wondered. Like, it's like, oh, is time changing?
Yeah.
As he moves forward in time, because there's actually, besides, the guy at the airport who handed him the Lamont,
Jose.
Besides Jose, like, okay, the lady on the plane was one of the scientists, and then you saw the head guard going up the escalator while him and Jose were going down. Now, I don't know if, again, is that Cole's psychosis or is that guy really there? We don't know.
Yeah.
But if he was, it means, you know, and the only reason they would be there is because he called the number.
Yeah.
Because they can't track him anymore, because he took his teeth out.
Yeah.
They're just filling the airport with people until they can, you know, kind of guess what's going to happen. But they already seem to know what's going to happen. Anyway. That's why they're doing this.
So yeah, you can see where the TV show people took away from that contentious scene, because the head scientist in the TV show is Dr. Jones.
Okay, good.
So
Good.
she is presumably trying to fight the release of the virus in in the TV show. So they went with that, and Terry Gilliam wanted to be more ambiguous, and it seemed the producers wanted to like, no, we need Cole's death to mean something. We need like lives to have been saved from this, not just him being tormented the entire movie and then nothing changes because of it.
Yeah, no, that seems like yeah, that's because this is a downer movie.
Yes.
So, yeah, that does seem like, yeah, maybe we should insert that, just a little bit of light, a little ray of sunshine.
But it is still ambiguous. It doesn't mean that that's
No.
what's going to happen. It just means that something changed because of it. We don't know if that saves 6 billion people or if that saves, you know, the million people left on Earth. So,
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's vague. And like I said, we don't know if the people who are running the future didn't want this outcome.
yeah.
So that's because there's always, that is a sicko thing running through a lot of like modern thinking. It's like, oh, we could do so much if we could just shed the billion. Oh yeah, which billion? You know, who's picking, by the way? You know, that's where it becomes vague and scary. But yeah, so you never know what's going on with it.
Well, there's a book I got recently because I heard someone talk about it, because they're like, somebody was discussing like, you know, all the inequality in the world and like, well, how's that going to be fixed? And this guy was like, well, there's a book about it, and there's basically only 4 ways it'll be fixed that we know through history. And that's either war, disease, or civil unrest, and
Yep,
something
yep.
else.
Yeah.
So either you know, it'll be equalized because a lot of people are killed off or from a disease or a war, or there'll be civil unrest and they kill all the people that are hoarding all the wealth and assets. Or what's the other one?
Just economic implosion.
Yeah, yeah.
Just the unsustainable system. Systems built on theories and not, you know, hard things. Yeah, like it's, yeah, there's a lot of that. Or it won't.
The
Or
Great
huh?
the Great Leveler, that's the name of it.
Oh, okay.
By Walter Scheidel.
Or the machine intelligences will guide us seamlessly through to its future.
This is Audible.
No, don't play it. I just want the info. The 4 horsemen of leveling: mass mobilization warfare, transformative revolutions, state collapse, and catastrophic plagues have repeatedly destroyed the fortunes of the rich.
Oh, okay.
So I guess unless we change the cycle, that's what we got to look forward to. So
Yep. Just the cycles of collapse, like in the moat in God's eye. When there's too many Modis, the civilization collapses and is reborn.
But yeah, again, there's a television show got produced off this. I don't know if there's other things have been made off the 12 Monkeys property, but
I just remember hearing about the television show, and I never really watched it. So
it's on Amazon, so you can just check it out. So
yeah, I might do that. I got some time off work.
it's like it's unimportant enough that it's very easy to just put on and ignore, because it's like I said, it's not great, but it's serviceable. So
Okay.
you know, it does all these stupid twists and turns that you kind of expect to happen, and then they don't ever pay it off. Again, I only been through the first season. It's the first season feels like 3 seasons, and it has not really paid off very well. But there is some neat stuff every once in a while. So
Oh, okay.
eventually, sometimes they do remember they are a sci-fi time traveling TV show, and you can do neat things with that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really feel very original. It feels very, other shows do this as well. Again, the wheels and within the wheels conspiracies that they focus on, because everything they think is wrong, it gets kind of tiring pretty quickly. But it got 4 seasons, so maybe it got better. I don't know.
Like I said, some people really like it. I
Um,
did a few passes on it while I was doing research for this. But yeah.
oh yeah, let me see. Yeah, let me see what's. Yeah, but it did come out in 2015 and had 4 seasons, so ended in 2019 just for a real pandemic happens. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it rated on? Internet Movie Database. It's got a 7.7. Yeah, I mean it's all right.
Yeah.
Let me see what its top rated episodes are. Maybe they are later on. Okay, its top rated episodes are in the last season.
Oh, okay. So they must have really let's throw everything at the wall.
Yeah. Well, we're sending a probe into space containing a supercut of scenes from the imperfect collection of the movies that make up the Verhoeven Effect. Nathan, what one scene for this movie are you chucking into space?
I want to do the probe duty because it establishes everything you'll want in this movie. It's disconcerting. It's weird. Nothing exactly makes sense, but it's fun to watch.
All right.
Because that seems to capture. I would like to say the lunatic asylum scene, but that's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You can't really compress that into a 3-minute viewing.
Yeah.
Because maybe that's just Brad Pitt being manic and Bruce Willis being stoic. It's kind of an interesting contrast, but
I mean, I guess character wise, acting wise, this is probably one of the most complicated roles for Bruce Willis to play, and he did a pretty good job with it. So
yeah, Bruce Willis is a great actor. And I remember a lot of his earlier sci-fi roles, and
well, I mean, even like you said, a lot of his later stuff is him just being stoic and cool, which is cool to watch, but not interesting to act.
Yeah,
but he seemed to be fine with that, like the way Clint Eastwood was. You mean I just got to be cool and not react to things, and then everyone will be cool with that? It's yeah. It's you don't have to grovel around and be all weird. It's nope, I don't got to spend time with meth addicts to to learn how to take on my roles. Nope, just act cool. It's cool, all right.
Well, I guess Brad Pitt said that Bruce Willis was actually a good friend to him while they were filming this, because Brad Pitt, to maintain that manic energy for the roles, because there was a lot of retakes and scenes and stuff, he was about to have a nervous breakdown because it was really hard for him to keep that up and deliver the same level of performance over and over and over again. And he did say Bruce Willis was just calm down. We're gonna get, it's just that's not usually a Bruce Willis story you hear. So.
No, yeah. I think the I don't. Maybe this might be being betrayed by Kevin Smith as well. But yeah, Kevin Smith did not have kind things to say about Bruce Willis, and he had all the hope in the world when he worked with him, and then it was all deflated after he got done finished working with him. So
yeah, it was sad. It wasn't good.
Which I'm inclined to believe Kevin Smith, but a lot of Kevin Smith's shtick kind of, I held him in very high regard, and he kind of I just had to let it go. So it's it was didn't really serve me very well, but I still like the stuff it is.
Yeah, it's just you grow up and you get you move on from things.
I never watched. He had a movie about a movie theater in the 80s that seemed kind of interesting, but I haven't watched that one yet. And I didn't watch Clerks 3. So.
Oh, okay.
I know he had recently, he's in a meme that's very unfortunate because I guess his mom died on, was Thanksgiving?
Whose mom?
Kevin Smith's mom.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
because he like wrote a tweet about like his mom was in the hospital. It's like she's recovering, everything's great, and I guess she like died the next day.
Oh shit.
And then like and then people started saying like, oh yeah, that happens all the time. Somebody looks like they're about to come back, and then it just ends.
It's just their body's last stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's too bad. I didn't know that because I know he lost his father a long time ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. He talks about like talks about the nightmare of his father dying screaming.
Yeah.
And that's why he lost a bunch of weight recently, because like he had like a heart attack, which what they call it, like had some really like fatalistic name to it.
Oh, the Widowmaker.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's the one going in that they can't see when it was blocked.
And like he's like, well, I better start losing weight now because I don't want my daughter to have me die screaming when she's like when she's 18 or something like that. So.
Yeah, because his dad was like my age when he died or something. It was
Yeah.
kind of scary. It was like, ugh.
We have you can find us on Letterboxd, username VHE, 1 out of 5 stars. What are you giving 12 Monkeys?
Oh, we'll definitely give it 5 stars.
Okay. Yeah, definitely a movie I appreciate more now than I did then, but
Yeah.
I guess it was just so weird then that I didn't even like I just completely forgot the plot of the movie. So
Yeah, it was weird because I remember seeing it in theaters and it's like it didn't quite have the impact on me I wanted.
yeah.
I was just kind of like bummed out by the whole thing.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
this isn't what I wanted. But now it's like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is not bad.
You can find us at veroinfect.com or any platform, podcast platform of your choice. You can rate our podcast where you want. The only thing that allows listen to is the highest rating. Remember, give us the highest rating. We need to give us a boon to defeat the AI algorithm. So, you can find us at Twitter at Verhoeven Effect. You can find us at Blue Sky Social at Verhoeven Effect. You can find us at Facebook at Verhoeven Effect. And you can find us on YouTube at American Greed Factory. You can watch both this and that show live and unedited. So for the Verhoeven Effect podcast, I'm Conlon.
And I'm Nathan.
Goodbye, America.